We're live.
All right.
Maybe.
Is it live now?
No.
Usually, sometimes it takes a little bit.
Yeah.
Like I know whenever David and I go live.
There we go.
Oh, yeah, here we go.
So we're live.
Yeah, oh, yeah, it's working.
Hey everyone, Luke here, and here today with two other guys from the anime Burrito, but also two other guys from Control Chaos, Red Alex and David. Yeah, and
I always love how people say my username. It's like, because in my head I imagine it as Red Alex because my full name is Red Alexander. But everyone always Tekking did it too. By the way, Tekking whenever he mentions me because like
because I believe you did the Sonpot Toe video. You did
and he would always be like Red Alex like it's one word.
Yeah, but I say Red Alert because it's just because my brother's called Alexander as well, so it makes it easier for me. But yeah, anyway, this is something that's been a long time coming, and it's something that I thought I'd put together because of what's going on in the world with the certain incident that's going on that's affecting the whole world, and it's ruined my week because I was meant to go away this week and I couldn't. Yep. So I figured, hey, why not do this, and why not do a anime
things? That's my plan too.
Yeah, and why not do an anime tier list? And it'll take a break from me doing some writing because, as I've foolishly forgotten to mention before, I have published a book. So if you go on Amazon, type in One Me Luke, you'll be able to find it, everyone. And I'm working on my second book at the moment, so that's keeping me busy. But I'm taking time off to do this, which is something I'm really excited for. But enough of me blabbering. Why don't you guys introduce yourselves, since you guys haven't done an anime burrito video
Red Alexander. We are from Controlled Chaos. I assume if we remember, it should be linked. Maybe we should link it in the description if you think of doing that, Luke.
Yeah. I'll probably be able to go on one of the other channels.
Like on the archive or something.
In the archive, I'll probably be able to go and edit it.
But yeah, you know, our style over there is just kind of like wacky, unhinged. You know, say what's on our mind. We try to just not give a fuck about. Like, you know, we're not going to be your chibi reviews, sit in front of a camera and be like, and today on this chapter, no, we're going to be like, what the fuck? You know what I mean? Head over.
And I'm kind of like you guys, except I like to be on camera myself, especially when something that I don't agree with in the Promised Neverland happens, and I'm like, no, you can't do that.
The only reason that I don't do on-camera stuff is because like our cameras, we don't have high enough quality cameras, so it always ends up looking unprofessional. So we just
I don't have the best high quality camera, so but I don't care. I just look.
But I know how people are though. Like if they click a video and it's like under fucking 720, if it's not 1080, they'll be like skip.
Yeah.
Anyway, Senku. I mean, we all love him.
Wait, guys. Sorry about this. Nero from the Anime Burrito wanted to join, so I'm just gonna link him, and he'll be able to come over. But yeah, this is a anime and manga main characters list, and I picked this first because it's the much easier one to do. And if this goes well, we might do another one talking about main villains, because we all love a good villain, don't we?
Yes, of course.
All right. But yeah, so yeah, we might as well go into it. We've got about 50 characters here. I originally put 40, but I missed out a few, so I thought, extend it to 50. And the first one up is Senku. Yes. So where would you guys put? Personally, I would put Senku in God.
Yeah, you know, and I don't want to be obviously like over exaggeratory and be like immediate god tier, but like Senku is one of the best written characters I've seen.
I think he's one of the more unique ones, because I've always compared him to sort of like a mixture of, if you took Mayuri from Bleach, but you took out all the craziness of him and mixed him with Deadpool, you'd probably get Senku.
He's a mad scientist without being mad.
Yeah.
You know, and if that sounds boring to you, it's not. The madness is replaced with like an immaturity because he's still a kid. That's the like, imagine as smart as like your typical smart character, but like remove the like coo adjusts glasses. Like he's just like a chill dude, but happens to be really fucking smart. Well, they explained it really well in the recent chapter with like the cocktail metaphor. Like, you mix all those layers of sweetness and science, and you get Senku.
Yeah, I loved that about that last chapter. I don't know if you've seen much Dr. Stone, David, but what's your opinion on Senku?
from what I've seen and the little bit I've read past the anime, he definitely ranks up there. I'd go excellent, but then again, I haven't really dove too far into it.
He doesn't have
probably just blast
to have an opinion because he's not caught up.
I'm
kidding, of course. What I will say though is, like, to me, the main reason, and I'm not someone who's going to put everyone in God, because I think that'd be ridiculous. But like I am going to give him
one God character for me. Maybe
I am going to give him God simply because he's just a really well-written character. And one of the things that I look for in a character, like, there's a very clear distinction to me when a character feels like he could be a real person, like you like ripped him out of a real life and put him in a manga. Or let me rephrase that metaphor. If you ripped out, for example, Asta from Black Clover and put him in real life, you'd be like, that kid needs to go over in a corner and get some therapy because, like, something's going on with him. There are certain behaviors that work in manga and you don't really think twice because he's just a wacky character. But like, if you encountered someone like that in real life, all of a sudden it's like, you're a little weird, right? Whereas Senku is written so well-rounded, so realistically, that like he feels like a real dude. Like, it doesn't feel like any wacky over the top like crazy shit to get a reaction. He feels real, and yet he's still really entertaining. And I think he's written very complexly, very carefully. And yeah, I'd put him in God tier.
Yeah, I was going to interrupt you, Dan, but you were kind of on a roll then. But we've got Neo Rabbit, who's just joined us. Hiya, how's it going?
It's going well.
All right, yeah. So
they are very quiet for me. I could barely even hear.
My apologies.
Oh yeah, no problem.
Yeah. So we were just starting now. We were thinking about putting Senku in God tier. What's your opinion on him, or have you got caught up with Dr. Stone?
I'd say that he is God tier, but out of a lot of other characters, he seems to be lacking in some areas that I've seen other characters have.
All right, okay. What would you say he's lacking in?
Well, I know his motivation is to return things, but he doesn't seem to view it from all angles. He's very opinionated for a scientist. And even though he claims to know a lot about science, he doesn't seem to care about the environment or other things. Like, he wants to bring back everyone, but has he considered how everyone acts out of all human beings? And
that's
how
an
much
interesting
destruction
point.
it cost.
Yeah, so I've thought about that point before when we discussed the chapters on our channel, and like, I've almost described him as like a true neutral kind of character, where like he has the knowledge about what he's going to bring about. You know, and Tsukasa even talks about like the ramifications of just bringing back full-blown society. But like, even though he knows the ramifications, he just kind of acts as like a middle ground person where he's like, hey man, it's not my job to consider the ramifications. I'm just going to revive humanity. And that could be considered a flaw in his character, certainly. It's also just kind of an interesting intricacy, I would say, as well. You know, it's just, I think he removes himself from that, and he's given himself a duty. And I do hope that in the future he actually sits down and thinks about it. I would agree with you on that.
All right, so but we're pretty much agreed that he's a God tier.
We'll put him in God tier, but I agree with this person that
I do agree. I do agree, but in terms of like the character himself, like, we agree he's God tier.
He's really well written. So I would put that.
Yeah. So now moving on to Ichigo, and
I have things to say about Ichigo, but I'll let someone else start.
I'll let someone else start as well.
Okay. Does Nero want to go?
So David or Nero, what do you think?
So he's the literal cum dump of the series. Like, he's everything all at once. He's one of the worst written main characters near the end game. I
like him in the beginning. I think he got
he's
pretty
decent.
boring. Oh, good.
All right, so you put him in decent. Yeah, I was thinking decent because towards the end it was rushed for it. It was rushed with him, but I would say the character himself is actually not that bad when looking at the overall structure of the series. He's not that bad. I mean, yes, he says I want to protect my friends all the time, but he actually goes through with that. Like, what he says, he actually does go through with it, and he actually is like, I don't care what they've done. They're my friend. They could literally join Aizen and I would still consider them my friend. So
I don't necessarily think that's a strength, though. Although, I would say
he's more. The reason why I put him in decent is because he's a loyal guy. Like he's someone that you know you can trust.
Sure,
so he's stinking Natsu Dragneel.
Pardon?
He's Natsu Dragneel, basically.
I think Natsu's better than Ichigo, actually.
I've not seen Fairy Tail, so I can't make a comment on that.
I say that as someone who hates Fairy Tail, by the way.
Natsu's obsessed with his friends, to put it lightly.
Right. Well, here's what I'll say, okay? I don't judge a character based on how nice of a guy or trustworthy of a guy they are, because that's why we like villains. It's not like, well, he's a bad guy, so he's a bad character. No. Bad guys can be great characters. It's all about how interesting they are to follow as a character. With Ichigo, my problem with him is he had that like punky aesthetic in the beginning, and he was kind of like a bad boy and yada yada. But I feel like Kubo didn't know how to both develop him as a character, but also keep him interesting at the same time. He had I'm trying to think how to put this. Like he had obviously the crushing defeat with the Aizen and all that shit. And I think that like Kubo wanted to write, well, he's going through depression now because that was a big deal. But I feel like post Soul Society arc, he was just in a constant state of woe is me, I'm depressed, how are we ever going to do this? And he never kind of recovered from it. And therefore he just became this like walking empty slate of like, I gotta defeat Aizen. How are we going to do it though? And that was just his whole character for the rest of the series, in my opinion.
Yeah. Yeah, I can see where you're coming from there. So where would you say could be better? Like it could be a better.
Reading the tiers, it's very small for me. Can you like walk through that? Just go through.
Basically, we've got God tier at the top, and then we've got excellent just below that. Decent, could be better, not seen enough of, and not our cup of tea.
I would have him at could be better.
Yeah. All right, that's fair. That's fair because I personally don't believe he's a bad main character, but at the same time, yeah, the problems are very much there. So yeah. He could be better.
I see him, and obviously don't take my word as gospel. I want to go through, if there's a disagreement, feel free to say anything.
Yeah. Of course. But yeah, I can see where you're coming from. And basically towards the end of the series, there really wasn't much in terms of character development for him.
So yeah, and the last thing I'll say about that is like there are some characters that I look at as like totally average, like they get the job done. Like for example, like Luffy for me, which is he on here?
Luffy.
Oh wait, then. There are some that are like, oh well, that's just a perfectly average. I don't hate them, I don't love them. Ichigo's like a little below that, where it's like I don't totally hate him, but I have some disdain for him as a main character. In fact, I always used to tell my friends, Bleach is a great series. The side characters are amazing. The main character is kind of boring, but the side characters were so good that it made up for it, in my opinion.
Oh yeah, because Shunsui is my favorite character in Bleach.
Oh yeah, every single captain was really interesting.
Out of the main cast, Uryu's probably my favorite.
Yeah, you do like that smart cuckoo adjust glasses type character.
Yeah. Right, so moving on, we've got Sailor Moon. Now,
I never watched Sailor Moon, so I'll let you guys take it away.
I've never watched Sailor Moon.
Why'd you put it on here?
I put it on here because Sailor Moon's like one of the more iconic anime.
David or Nero, have you guys?
I watched a bit when I was a kid.
All right.
It's down to Nero.
Can we just say not seen enough of?
Well, wait,
yeah.
Unless Nero has something. Nero?
Nero's dead. Tragic.
Snaps in the chat for Nero.
Oh wait.
Oh, they muted out.
All right, so are we unanimous for Sailor Moon not seen enough of?
Yeah, we'll do not seen enough of it. That's Nero comes back and then says, "Wait a minute, I have something to say."
I am actually one of the biggest Sailor Moon fans on the planet.
Nero, are you there?
The chat inside the StreamYard saying their mic stopped.
Right, okay.
Okay, right. Well, if you can come back, let us know.
Yeah.
So what I will say, too, all I can say about Sailor Moon is it's written by the wife of my favorite author, Togashi, so, I mean, it's got to be something cool there.
Yeah. Oh, and
Togashi wouldn't marry trash.
Right.
Man of standards.
Okay. So next is Kyosuke from Your Lie in April.
Remember,
Have you
Luke,
guys?
I gotta remind you, Luke. You know how our content be. I'm not gonna pull back on my wacky derailing.
No.
humor.
I don't care. I'm just this wacky. Sometimes I have to be told, like, calm down.
So you just want to make us cry by mentioning this series, right?
Yeah.
Wait, someone's got to tell me what's next because it's so fucking small.
It's Kyosuke from Your Lie in April.
All you.
Oh, you've never seen Your Lie in April?
Sorry.
Red.
Oh.
Wait. So what is it? Is it a series? Is it a movie? What is it?
It's a series about.
It's a series that will make you fucking cry.
I'm putting it on a list. I'm putting it on a list to watch.
Basically, it's about this pianist who was so abused by his mother that he basically lost the ability to hear music, and
Say no more. I know what you're talking about. My roommate actually was watching that, and I would walk by occasionally, and I was like, "Ooh, okay, yeah." So I know what it is, but I've not watched it.
I will say the final episode will make
sadness.
It's on.
If you don't cry, you don't have a fucking soul.
Dude, I cried everything.
It's on the level, like, because did you see what I put on Twitter about the moments that made me cry?
Oh yeah.
That was one of them. The final duet in Your Lie
in
April.
That. By the way, I had no idea you were a Made in Abyss fan. Respect.
Yeah. Oh, I watched that.
We'll get to her.
Yeah, I watched that because a friend of mine who was in some of my earlier videos, some of my earlier Promised Neverland videos, he recommended it to me, and I binge watched it when I was on holiday. And episode.
Did you the manga?
I haven't read the manga.
Oh, see, okay. Well, then now I can be like, you haven't read the manga.
Yeah, go on. You can do that.
I went to the fucking mall. This is pre-corona, by the way. I went to the fucking mall.
Wait. The video just has to restart there. You mentioned the virus's name. No, you can't do that on the YouTube.
We're not monetizing, David. Relax.
Yeah.
I went to the mall. I bought like every volume they had, and I just binged it. But yeah, you guys go ahead and talk about this.
All right. So, I would say Kyosuke would be in excellent. I'm not sure about you because I'm torn between decent and excellent for Kyosuke because
he didn't really get the development other than meh. This is deep. This is really gut-wrenching, but really there was no substance to his character beyond that.
Sounds like it was one of those characters where they were just kind of like a driving engine for the plot, and the character itself didn't really have.
Hashtag I am deep kind of moment, but
I'm 14 and this is deep.
Yeah, but I will say what the struggles he went through and the way he built himself back up, that was quite emotional, which is why I'm torn between decent and excellent.
Nero, can you talk again, or is your mic still?
I can talk.
All right.
All right.
So real quick, did you have anything to say about Sailor Moon before we move on to
that? No.
Okay, cool. So then, all right. What about Your Lie in April person?
I've never watched Your Lie in April.
Okay, so that's all you two then.
I'd wager more on the decent there. Because there wasn't enough development throughout the series.
All right, so
look at this full spectrum we got.
All right, and we've got a comment from Margin Slayer which says demonetized.
Yes.
Yeah.
All right, so next up is Mashiro. I believe that's how you pronounce it. He's the main character from Bakuman.
Okay.
Bakuman,
I can't wait on this one.
I probably read a good
episode.
Oh, okay.
I've watched the entire series, and I will say this: it's on par with Monster in terms of anime to manga adaptations.
I remember when it first came out, I was like, "Ooh, same people that made Death Note. I got to check it out, obviously." And all I remember about this kid was his dream. Like, he had a girl he wanted to marry, and she wanted to be a voice actress, and he was like, "I'm gonna get a manga. It's gonna be an anime, and then you can be but
I will say one thing. It does show the absolute struggles that go through because the first manga that they make, like him and his partner, because it's a writer and an artist. He's the artist of them. The first manga they make, he gets hospitalized, and it's like in the hospital, he's there just drawing his. Just to finish it so that he doesn't get cancelled.
Yeah, I have heard so many good things about how Bakuman is like the greatest way to explain to people like what manga making life is about. Like it's like a manual for it practically, like wrapped up in a fictional story.
Yeah, but in terms of Mashiro, I would again put him in decent because the protagonist, what I can't remember his name, but the
crazy looking kid that drew like real quick.
Oh no, no, the crazy.
Oh, okay, no, that's only remember.
That's their rival, the one that draws really quick. I believe that's their rival.
Antagonist in that manga, capitalism.
The antagonist, there wasn't really any antagonists. They were more like
the
rival.
President of Shueisha.
Even him wasn't really an antagonist. He was just doing his job and doing what was right for the business. But
so that can be pretty antagonistic.
yeah. But I will say the protagonist I prefer over him. But in terms of him as a character, it just the struggles and just the hardships he goes through. I believe he's a decent one. But I wouldn't put him in excellent, so I put him in decent.
I agree.
I put him in decent, and I will say one thing about Bakuman. I actually prefer it over Death Note.
Ew. Well, I need to finish it.
No. The reason why is because unlike Death Note, it stays consistent.
That's fair. Yeah. First half Death Note, goddamn masterpiece. I don't care what it says.
Don't mention the second half.
Is that Naruto?
Yeah, it's Naruto. Now this is all you guys because
fucking believe it, bro.
Now this is Naruto. This is all you guys.
Okay.
Believe it.
I'll start unless Nero wants to, because I feel like they're the quietest. I want to make sure I don't accidentally misgender you. Are you a she?
I'm a they. I don't care what.
Okay, I'll go they then. That's why I'm asking.
You can say they, she, or he if you so please. All
what?
right. I'd say that I know Naruto the best out of all these characters because he's from my first anime. Well,
take it away.
I'd say he's probably excellent depending on which arc he's in, because some of the arcs really completely butcher his character. Like,
Agreed.
Tuning exams were good, and I felt like some parts of the tuning exams just didn't work out for him. Then, I'd say his obsession with Sasuke really completely ruins his character in Shippuden.
Yes, I think we are probably all in agreement on that. I liked him a lot. My situation with Naruto was like, as a character, it was like I liked him in the beginning. There was a middle chunk where he dipped for me, and then I started liking him again towards the end. What was that?
Sorry,
alarm. But yeah, so like to me, I would probably. I don't know if I could put him on excellent. I think I'd put him decent. I wish there was something between decent and excellent, but I guess that's how.
Well, because I can add something. So, what would you?
I mean, you don't have to. Like, we can't just do that for every single one. But like, to me, I don't think he gets excellent for me personally, just because the whole Sasuke obsession kind of ruined him. I think his original goal was the Hokage thing, and then that kind of got put on the back burner with this weird rescue Sasuke arc, which should have been way shorter than it was if they wanted to do it. I don't like the fact that the whole series was Sasuke main goal, you know.
Yeah.
So I think also, that really ruined him personally.
Sorry, Red. I just want to say we've got Margin Slayer that has joined us.
Hello there. Hi, how's it going? Hello, Nero.
All right.
Wow. Yeah, that's an interesting avatar there, Margin Slayer.
Yeah, my friend. What? It's just.
I thought we were gonna say, "Wow, you're using a potato for a microphone."
What?
I'm just using characters for an avatar.
So,
this is my blue snowball.
Oh, okay. Yeah, we were just up to Naruto now. I've not seen Naruto, so I'm out of this. So it's between you guys. So what would you? Decent. You felt decent.
Yeah, decent. Just because of how his character just ebbs and flows.
Now, I will say to the guy who just joined, your mic quality is a bit concerning, just because I literally couldn't understand you. So
okay, yeah, it was because for some reason my default mic is my webcam.
No, it's actually better now. I don't know if you've changed something or.
Yeah, I changed it to a blue snowball.
Yeah, that's better now.
Yeah, and also as well, I just want to say a side note is that I've ordered some pop filters for my mic as well.
Yeah, please tell me you didn't fucking order them from Amazon, man.
I'm sorry, David. I did. I'm sorry.
I just have a sock over my blue snowball.
It really gives me a little bit of a break between the dildos and the dick pills.
I'm sorry, wait, did you guys just hear that shit was so funny? You guys are arguing, and then this guy on the bottom's like, I just have a sock over my blue snowball.
Hey.
I hope you didn't use the cum sock, buddy.
I did that because Red, when we were doing auditions for Retro Rhino's Bleach project, I actually did that as well. I got a coat hanger and put socks over it and made a pop filter with that.
Oh man,
now that is the most ghetto way to make a shock filter, man.
I have a pop filter. It's just I have nowhere on my desk to put it.
But why use it when you can use a perfectly fine sock?
I had to put a
Why
hole.
are we talking about microphone socks?
I had to put a hole. Damn it.
Okay.
I think a good video has a perfect equilibrium of off-topic humor and then getting back on topic. Otherwise, it's like, today we are going to give you a college examination PowerPoint. That's boring. Fuck that.
Okay. So moving on, Yu-Gi-Oh! So we've got Yugi from Yu-Gi-Oh!
Take it away, guys.
Put him in the lowest tier possible. He's the worst character I've seen in a long time.
Fight.
You are even.
I'm kidding.
And on that note, I take my leave.
I would put you in terms of Yugi himself and disregarding the Pharaoh.
Yeah,
I would put Yugi in decent.
I agree.
Just because the only development that he actually got was in the final arc of Yu-Gi-Oh itself. If we're just talking about the anime, the final arc itself, and also the Dark Side of the Dimension, I feel like that's the only time he actually got to shine on his own.
Well, you also are we counting the parallel timelines that were created by the second movie?
I think we're just talking about just strictly from beginning of Duel Monsters to end of Duel Monsters and counting Dark Side of Dimensions. But I will say
technically it is canon, right?
Yeah, I will say.
May I ask a quick question for you?
Yeah, go on.
So I just want to do a quick little vote with everyone. How does everyone feel about adding a tier in between excellent and decent? Because I feel like there should be a good in between. It seems like a very big jump.
Okay.
I'm down.
Yeah, I can add that. Let me just.
Yeah, just because there's a big gap between decent and excellent. Yeah, thanks. I appreciate it, man.
Do you think you could add another character in? Because we forgot someone who's really cringy, but somehow seems to come into the spotlight in some aspects, aka Kirito. You guys forgot the Sword Art Online protagonist. He's one of the most known characters.
You want to add him? I would be down.
Sorry, guys. Let me just sort it out here.
I'll just go over here and die in the corner because I think I'm the only one that would defend his cringy ass.
I would defend Kirito.
I would know. There we go. So we've got good in as well.
Yellow.
Excellent, decent. Well, no, I think good should be above decent because decent's
okay. Okay.
Decent's not as good as the word good.
Okay.
So then
it's all right. It's all right. Yeah, and I was debating putting Kirito in, but I have some personal family issues with Kirito, and I am not gonna mention them. Not gonna mention them here. But in terms of
technically did mention them, even if you didn't.
Please.
I've not seen Sword Art Online yet.
Whoa.
I know.
Girl.
Wait. You can skip the entirety of the fucking anime and just read the goddamn light novels, please.
Or you could just
skip all the way
avoid it
to
entirely.
Alicization.
But going back on topic, I want to say one thing. Aside from Pokemon and Digimon, Yu-Gi-Oh was like one of the big mainstreams that I got into because I distinctly remember the first time I actually saw Yu-Gi-Oh as an anime, and it was the Pharaoh going "Fireball attack," and it was just like this big advert that just went by like 10 seconds. They went 5 episodes back to back, a special Yu-Gi-Oh, only 5 days to go, and I was just like, what was that? I have to watch it.
And as a kid, you're like, Fireball attack, obviously got to watch that.
Yeah, because I was like, I think I was about like 11 or 13 at the time. Like, so that's going back so long because I'm 29 now.
Jesus Christ!
You gotta remember.
I'm no longer the oldest one in the chat.
Well, no, David. I think we were born. You were born. You're 91, aren't you?
Yep.
Yeah. I'm 91, but I'm like January 7th, so I'm like literally right at the beginning of the year.
The 90s kids.
You gotta remember that everyone under the age of 13 is a massive pyromaniac. So if you see fire on the TV, you're just like, ooh.
What's going to burn?
But no, in terms of Yugi himself, I would just put him in decent because
don't forget good exists now if he's above. So I see decent as average, and then there's a little bit above average, really good.
I'd say good.
I put him in good.
All right, I'll concede.
So better than Naruto. We all agree. Yugi better than Naruto.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I will say that if it was Yusei from 5Ds, that would be difficult for me.
And don't forget, like, there's nothing wrong with like looking at the tier list and like if something's like, ooh, but then we have that person under that, and I don't like that. Like, we can always debate.
Yeah. So this one I've actually forgotten the name. I believe
it's Chisei Hitori from Ancient Magus Bride.
Oh, okay, you take this one, David.
Magus Bride.
This one was basically added for David. It's like his favorite manga.
Yeah, because I added ones that because when I was picking the list, I had ones that were well known, ones that I had seen, and basically ones that I know you guys have seen and would probably kill me for leaving off.
Much appreciated. Has anyone other than David like read a lot of Ancient Magus Bride, or at least seen it?
I haven't seen
any of it.
I've watched the entire anime and read all, and I'm up to date on the manga.
Okay, David and Nero, go.
Okay, so if we were going with Elias, I'd say good, but Chisei, I have to give it decent, and this hurts me to do. But like, there's so little singular development throughout the anime itself. It's goddamn gorgeous to look at. It's literally my wallpaper. If you look on my Twitter, like 2 monitors of live wallpaper going. But like, her character itself is pretty much dependent on everybody else in the cast.
Okay, so where would you put him?
Let Nero have a Nero.
I'll give Nero the floor here.
All right, sorry.
He's already said my point, so he's good.
Y'all agree then? All right.
Yeah.
So where's it going?
I give it decent. Like, if she was able to stand on her own 2 feet, and I get that that's basically part of the story is like the codependence here for being the slave Aggie, but like, no, you have to actually develop the main character. Otherwise,
I was just gonna say, Luke, you got to move Ichigo down. Thank you.
Yeah. I'd only just noticed that because it was messing up big time when I was trying to put in good. And I will say one thing, Red, is JJ's comment. Red sounds like a better Rogers base.
Yo, literally. Everyone fucking says that. I used to be King of Lightning, right? I used to be a tier 3 subscriber. I went on his stream once. First goddamn thing he said was Rogers base.
Are you using an alt?
I don't get it. Like, and the funny part is I don't even like Rogers base. Like,
I just hope you don't like Rogers
base. He's a very boring YouTuber.
Oh, some flame wars are gonna get there.
Yeah, I'm ready. Let's go.
If we get any Rogers basis fans here,
I'm sure he's a fine person, but like.
I still haven't forgiven him for rejecting my friend request on PlayStation.
Exactly. Fuck that guy.
All right. So now we've got Luffy.
Don't worry, Luke. I hear the nervousness in your voice. No opinion expressed by me is expressed by Luke. I'm my own person.
No. It's not that. It's not that. I kind of repeat myself quite often.
That's no problem. Me too.
It's a bit annoying.
Luffy.
So Luffy, I would put him in either good or excellent.
He doesn't go excellent for me. To me,
what I've seen,
I can give 2 shits about One Piece.
Yeah, he's not. David's out on this one.
From the 600 chapters I've read, I've enjoyed him, but he's not like anything like special.
Agreed.
The series is heavily driven by the other characters. Not to say Luffy's bad. He has a lot of enjoyable moments, but as a character, he's not that deep.
Yeah.
It's just his actions are quite interesting.
Yeah, and the reason why I say excellent is because you don't want the One Piece fanboys coming in here and saying, "How dare you put Luffy in Luffy for God?"
Here, Luke.
Fuck the One Piece fanboys. Put them where you want to put them.
Yeah. Do not be afraid of the fanboys. So here's what I'll say. One Piece is a phenomenal story. It's my second favorite manga of all time. Luffy as a character, I see him as like just kind of a blank slate surrogate for the audience to enjoy the adventure through, right? Like there's not a lot going on there. He's like your typical, I mean, he was made in the 90s, right? Like that's when shonen protagonists were like kind of dumb and ate a lot of food and went, wow, you know, it's basically like what they do, right? You know, Luffy has some stuff there when Ace dies, but like that's like the one time in the entire story where his character has like kind of a deeper moment. But really, for me, I would put him at good. This is kind of why I wanted this tier list. I think he's better than average. I like him a lot better than Naruto, but like he's definitely nothing special. I just think he's an enjoyable character. Nothing much deep going on there, though.
All right, so Nero, do you have any opinions?
I'd say if we're going off of how he implies that with the story, he has a flat character arc, which I'd say is probably one of the harder ones to write out of all three versions of character arcs. So if anything, if I do believe it's utilized well, so I'd say excellent.
Oh, wow.
I mean, Luffy's the only one of the big three MCs that hasn't done anything so far to actually annoy me or make me dislike him.
Wait, I have to know what annoyed you with Ichigo.
He just doesn't have a goal. He's just kind of bland.
Well, neither really does. We're getting to him soon, but neither really does Denji. If you really think about it,
excuse me, he has the goal of titties.
Yeah, that's at least more of a. At least he has like he has an end plan. Ichigo's goal is just the now. He has
protect.
To protect.
He has character in a nutshell.
He doesn't strive to be anything. He's just like, oh, I want to be stronger to protect people. Like, you don't want to become like. I guess like he's kind of a normal human in the world with like everything over. A bunch of other stuff, but is there seriously nothing you can strive to be?
Yeah.
All right. So excellent or good? Which would you be all right with?
I say good. Nero voted excellent. We got to do a vote if there's a difference. So
I say good.
What about you, Luke? You're caught up with One Piece.
I would say. I'm torn between good and excellent.
Be afraid of the fanboys.
I would say now that you've mentioned it, now that Luffy, looking back on him, he doesn't have that much of a character going for him. I would say I would go with red and put him in good.
And I know that David would agree too with the little One Piece he sees. He's not a big fan of Luffy either. So yeah.
All right.
Fuck Luffy.
So now we have got one of the more recent ones. We have got Naofumi from Rising of the Shield Hero. Now, I would put Naofumi in excellent.
That's something I still need to watch. I've seen a lot about it.
Quartet, so I'm out of here.
I've watched the anime and I've read like some of the manga after it. He hasn't done anything spectacular, but he also hasn't done anything too bad.
I will say the reason why I would put him in excellent is because of just from the fact that he starts off pretty much like one of those typical like shonen protagonists, like, oh, I'm happy-go-lucky, oh, I've got this person here that I trust, and then he just gets completely, for lack of a better word, royally fucked over, and then it just becomes like this bitter arsehole, and it's kind of like seeing his journey from
like a massive tone shift, essentially.
Basically, yeah, the biggest tone shift you could ever get, and the fact that even though Raftalia, like his female companion, was bought as a slave, it's like she doesn't see it like that. She doesn't see it as like a slave. She sees it as someone who's come and help me get out of this darkness. So now I have to help him get out of this darkness as well.
Neat.
Yeah. So I would put him in excellent because of what he went through and how he slowly started to work himself up again, and he's just had the whole world against him.
That's up to you guys. I'd say
he's
put
just
it to a vote.
He's just decent.
He's not bad by any means, but I don't think he's anything special.
But keep in mind, whenever you're doing this, Luke, you got to look at what's below it and be like, do I think this character is better than Luffy, Yugi? You know what I mean?
I would argue Naofumi is better than Luffy and Yugi, just because he has that little bit edge on them of a character.
I mean, I would move Ichigo, but I was too late for Ichigo, so.
So I would put him above Luffy and Yugi.
I would put him above.
David, you acted like you had seen it.
I put him above Luffy, but below Yugi. Like,
well, but you can't really speak about Luffy because like you haven't seen much of One Piece. You just
I'll tell you what. I'll put him in good if so if people let me, when we get to the character, if people let me have them in excellent, and I'll say when it is.
Well, I'm not granting you anything. We're gonna fucking debate all of these.
I know who you're talking about.
I think you know
whoever has seen Shield Hero, everyone that's actually seen it should just vote right now, and then whatever wins.
All right, I'm saying excellent.
I'd say good.
I'd say decent.
God,
all right, then I guess we've got
to split it down the middle.
I guess we've got to go down the middle. He's got to go in good then. As much as it pains,
good and not decent.
As much as it pains me.
Oh, trust me, I'm sure I'll be pained later with certain characters.
Yeah, I know which one you're thinking of. Probably when it comes to me.
We are
getting close to them as well. So next one is Kazuma from Konosuba.
What does now? Stop the memeing. Do not say God. It's not.
I was thinking that.
God. He is God, though.
He's pretty great.
God.
I would say.
He might think he's a god.
Again, I would say out of any of the isekai anime that I've seen, that he is probably the most enjoyable.
He really is.
Because it's a parody of isekai, so they actually made it interesting. Whereas like other isekai, it's like unironically taking itself seriously. So like it's just like a blank slate man character getting all the women, whereas Kazuma is like the loser who's like using trickery and sometimes low-key douchebaggery.
I think that's how if people were dropped into that world, basically if people saw Aqua for who she really was, I think they would probably act the same way as Kazuma did.
Aqua is straight up a bitch though. Like she deserves most of what she got.
Yeah. Yeah, so I would definitely put him either in excellent or God.
I would go
he's better than, to me, he's better than Luffy, and I haven't seen much Yu-Gi-Oh! So yeah, I could put him in excellent.
All right, so Margin and Nero, where would you put him?
I can't speak. I haven't seen enough of him.
You haven't seen enough of him?
No.
God.
Are you memeing? Your real opinion.
Memeing, in all honesty, I think from a storytelling point of view, he's literally the most sane person in that entire world full of crazy people and idiots.
Now, that is a good point. That is actually a good point.
So what was the vote here? I said excellent.
Excellent.
I was saying excellent, but yeah, that is a very valid point. Like out of everybody.
But no. But here's the thing. Do we think he's on the same level as Senku? That's the thing.
Because like, there's going to be god tier characters later that are like just mind changing characters. He's still a parody character. Do we really want to put him on? Do we want to sully the god tier?
Why does god tier just have to be world changing?
Right.
Oh.
I'm just saying democracy rules. Like my vote is excellent. If other people agree with you,
I would say excellent.
I gotta go excellent. Like,
excellent's fine then.
All right, okay.
You sound so disappointed.
But no. But think about it. He's the first one in excellent, so he gets that distinction.
He's finally not taken something virginity, and it's concept of excellence.
All right, and now here's one that Red and David and me will be all too familiar with. Denji from Chainsaw Man.
Oh, my boy. Now, honestly, is he God though?
Red. No,
I'll let you
don't
go.
even meme it. Don't even meme it. He is not a god tier character yet. He might have rode a shark boy through a flesh tornado, but he is not god tier. Okay?
And he might have gotten his tongue bitten off by a demon bomb girl. Yeah. But yeah, he's not god tier.
We don't sound like psychopaths. Have you two read Chainsaw Man?
Nope.
No, I have not.
Okay,
so we're gonna sound like psychopaths during this part.
We'll say it's a lot of fun. It's basically like those old Peter Jackson like gore fests that he used to do before he did Lord of the Rings.
Here's how I'll explain it.
It's like a Torma movie, or a trauma movie, but like actually fucking good.
Either of you?
Nope.
Hellsing? Either of you?
No.
No.
My mind hurts.
It's like gory and bloody, but like really silly too at the same time. But also, it's amazing. I don't know. Just read it. Just try it out. Either way, though, talking about Denji, to me, I like the element. There is a deepness to him there. He's dumb, obviously, but like
he's dumb as shit.
Yeah, he even admits it. He admits how dumb he is.
his goal is so like normal and like not extravagant, but the reason it's like better than something like, let's say, Ichigo is because his upbringing, not even upbringing, he didn't have parents. Like
no, he never had a he never had a upbringing at all. It's like he's a child in like a teenager's body at the moment.
Do you mind? Yeah. So just because can I get my like I don't want my thoughts might get interrupted, and then I'll give you like a total long time. Yeah. So like he as a child he had like nothing. Like his dad died. And then like the mafia like transferred his debt to him. So he literally had nothing. He ate like a shitty piece of bread every day with nothing on it. He lived in like a shack with like nothing in it other than, I don't even know, did he even have like a mattress? Like what? It's like a shitty, I don't even know. And he just had nothing. And like, so his dreams were like really basic. Like, man, I hope one day
he's like any college student.
Yeah.
The first fucking
man,
year.
I hope one day I can get a girlfriend or eat some good food or something. So when he finally gets into a situation where he kind of can, it's the simple joys in life. Like one of my favorite moments, it's a very low key moment, but like when he finally has toppings to put on his bread, he puts everything on it. There's like sprinkles and honey and jam and mayonnaise all in one slice. He's like, I got all the toppings now. And it makes sense because he's never had any of that. And like, I've never seen a manga make the touching of a boob so wholesome, because like for him it was like, oh, I've never done this and oh my god. And like there's this great moment where, you know, it's kind of underwhelming at first for him because he doesn't understand what makes that special. So then like he's taught by this character, no, it's not just the touching of the boob that's special. It's like you got to know the person, you got to love them, and then it's different, and kind of has his mind blown to like what love is, because it's like I think Luke said it really well. He is like a child in like a upper teenager's body at this point, where because he really just got stunted because his whole life was working for the mafia to pay off his dead dad's debt. So that's what I like about him. Yeah, he's not a god yet, but I would definitely put him excellent because he's better than Luffy for sure.
Yeah, and I agree with you, Red. So I put him in excellent. David, are you all right with that?
I definitely would go more excellent with him. Like once the series goes further, he might raise up to god level, but right now the meme isn't worth it.
All right, but speaking of God, we have Kenzo Tenma from Monster. God, definitely, no question about that.
Best fucking written characters.
I've heard a lot of good things about Monster.
Yeah, if you've watched the best thing about Monster is that you can actually watch you can either watch the anime or read the manga because it's literally verbatim.
Finding the fucking anime. Finding the fucking anime is damn near impossible in the States unless you.
I'm sure it's on Pornhub somewhere.
I know, and the only way I could find it was in Australia for like $250.
Thank you.
Wow. Yeah, but I will say what I love about Kenzo Tenma is that it's just the journey he goes on, and the fact that it's not the journey that makes it. It's his journey actually ties into the main villain of the story, and that's what I love most about him.
So here's my issue with Monster in the States, and this is just going to derail for a minute, but like we only got one volume of the anime adapted here. Everything else, Viz is like, fuck it didn't sell well enough. So it just sat there in stagnation till the license expired. Now it's in this, will we ever get it? But yeah, I watched it on Sci-Fi when they showed anime.
Oh, wow. Yeah. Do you two at the bottom have any thoughts on this?
I've never seen it, so
see it. If you can see it or read it, do that.
I have heard
this will be the one time
about it a lot.
This will be the one time I promote piracy. Go watch it on.
Yeah, if it's not available in a legal manner,
watch it on one of those sites.
Yeah. Because I will say one thing. If it ever became available, I'd be the first one to actually get it.
So it's not on like any streaming service.
It is not. I have looked.
Because Monster, it's my favorite anime.
Really?
I will say, yeah, it is.
It is legitimately one of my favorite series.
It's basically the anime that changed me and made me sort out more mature and more thought-provoking stories.
Yeah. That and Death Note for me made me seek out more of the sinning-esque genre.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. All right, well, go ahead and put them at where. I mean, you guys really want to critique this.
Yeah,
and I believe you because I've heard good things from reviewers I trust. So
Yeah. So now we're up to. Oh, this one is going to be. This is the one that
this is the war.
So before we get, because this is going to take a while. This we have history here with this one. So you two at the bottom. Any opinions on Emma from Promised Neverland?
She's boring.
Boom! Thank you.
I have not seen enough, so I can't make an opinion.
Everyone here agrees with us, Luke. Luke is the staunch defender of Emma. It's one of his favorites.
Yeah. Now, I will say one thing that
Red. I will actually weigh in here too.
Yeah, no. So let's try to let Luke have his thing, and then we'll have.
Now, I will say one problem that I've constantly had with Emma is the fact that they've pointed out continuously throughout the series that she's naive. She's very naive, and that has never changed. Like she's never
I kept waiting for that to exactly. Like there was a moment. So there was a moment in the first arc, which I love, of Promised Neverland, where it's a moment I always think about, and it's where she's like obsessed about like we're gonna save all the kids, and everyone else is like that's impossible. That makes no goddamn sense, right? So I kept waiting for like this big moment to hit her where it's like no, you can't always be like this naively optimistic. You can't say these things that are definitely not going to happen. Like she had that childlike mentality, like if I just say it enough it'll happen. And then that followed up with another scene where when she learned about how Ray like actually remembered shit, and he knew that the kids were getting sent off, and she was like, and you did nothing to stop it. You let them walk to their deaths. Don't let it happen again. And there was like a darkness in her eyes. So I always assumed that it was going to go down like a Gon Freecss route in Hunter x Hunter, which I guess you don't know about this yet, Luke, but like where like they're nice and like the character's really nice and loving and happy-go-lucky, and then like they have like this anger darkness explosion near the end of the series. And that's what I kept waiting for from Emma, for her to finally just like break from all of her like innocence, but it never happened. And I think if Thurman was here, he would also make the point that like it seems like Emma's never really challenged by the author. It seems like she's handed everything on a silver platter, like what she wants she just gets. She taught no jutsu'd fucking Norman out of being evil, apparently. Like it just seems like there's not a lot of, she's never challenged as a character, like her ideals are her ideals. Anyway,
I will say one thing is that when she first gets to Goldie Pond and you have running around, and then you have those kids that she meets, Monica and Jake, and they're all like, okay, we're gonna meet up back. We're gonna meet up back when this is all over. And then it's kind of like shocked into her that not everyone can get escaped because they actually died. They're two of the kids that actually died.
Did she have any moment where she like sat down and reflected?
Yes,
like, oh,
yes, she did. Like actually, after she found out about that, she was sitting there, she was crying, she was like not knowing what to say, and then Violet comes along and it's like, this is life, and you've just got, and basically says, this is life, and you've got to deal with it.
Who said that?
Violet, the one that didn't realize that.
And now, did she ever have like a moment where she kind of like reflected and changed her ideology? And that was what you said, like she didn't, right? And that made you.
Yeah. She's never really been changed of her ideology, but she has had moments where it's like being shocked back into her, like this is reality, this is life and death, and even no matter what happens, my ideology will sometimes get shattered, basically.
So here's how I'll say it, right? You don't have to have her like completely change the character forever, but like, because I've seen manga where they'll have like a momentary lapse of ideology where like their ideology is challenged so much that finally they just kind of snap and they change from what they once were, and they can eventually go back to what they were as long as it's written well. Like, you know, like someone pulls them back, like, no, you can still believe in this. We just got to do this instead. You know, there's a character I think of in this current arc of the Hunter x Hunter manga, where his whole thing was like, oh, I'm going to do this peacefully. And finally he got broken so much, and someone just told him like, everyone you love will die if you don't fucking fight back. And he finally just had like a snap moment. This guy who was a pacifist his whole life finally is just like, all right, I'm in, and he starts killing people left and right. I love shit like that, right? And it'd be cool to see a moment like that from Emma at least once in the series, and then like
I don't think we're getting it.
No, I don't think we're getting it, because
of course not.
Because after this, I feel like we've like after where we are right now, I feel like we've only got like I'd say about 20 chapters left.
Right. This series will be done by year's end.
Are they coming to? Are they finally doing that? Like we're going back to Goldie Pond to save the kids situation?
No, because Goldie Pond got destroyed.
Or not Goldie Pond. I mean, Gracefield.
They're back in Gracefield, and it's been revealed that Lewis was actually alive all along.
I sent you that scan. Like, this motherfucker's alive.
Yeah, well, once we found out like the queen had a second core, I kind of like was thinking like, okay, Lewis has to have a second core, and it has to be that monkey because we saw all the demons were defeated in Goldie Pond, but we didn't see his body when it was being destroyed. So I can't.
Oh, the monkey was his second core.
I kind of think that it's never been confirmed, but in the recent chapter where he's been revealed and they go, "You're alive," he actually presses the monkey's face and he goes, "Just bare or unintentionally." So that actually queued me up.
Yeah, that would make sense. Well, anyway, yeah, I would put Emma in probably same Ichigo's tier. Could be better.
Yeah. She definitely.
Obviously, you're gonna fight against this, but like we're gonna.
I would put her in.
Be totally honest, like
I would actually argue for good, basically, and the reason why I would say that is because despite her flaws and everything, she has started to see the world in different lights, and actually started to think about how can I get out of this without shedding more bloodshed, because
she tried to talk no jutsu Peter Ritari.
Yeah, I don't agree. I don't agree with talking Peter Ritari out. I don't agree with what she did with Peter Ritari. Basically,
she's not going to learn. That's why I would say if we're going to split it down the middle, I'd go for decent.
That's yeah. Okay. I would. And you want that? We can.
Okay. I'll concede. As much as it pains me.
Yeah. Oh yeah. No, I definitely always put out your real opinion, and so because then everyone.
Because the minute she tried to
amalgamation of all of our opinions.
Because Emma is my favorite protagonist. Not, I know she has faults.
It's weird to me. What I don't understand is how can she be your favorite antagonist if she's only in like good category? Like my favorite antagonist would be God categories for me because they're my favorite.
I would say she's probably been because I've been with her since the beginning, and I've kind of like been on this journey with her. But I'm not gonna lie, I do see the faults, and if I had to pick between Emma and Senku, I've got to go with Senku.
Definitely.
But Emma will always be my favorite. Just like with Yugi, like if I was being completely honest, I would because Yu-Gi-Oh was one of my favorites, so I would be more saying for Yugi to be in God, but I understand his frauds in the same way. I understand I understand Emma's flaws, so I would be.
I mean, as cringy as it is, for me, I'm the same way with Kirito. I know he's a flawed protagonist. I know he's a fucking cringe lord, but I still love him.
Yeah, and it's the same thing with me with Emma. I still love her. I still love seeing her and seeing how she's going to get out of situations and whether they're good or whether they're frustrating. Yeah, with her mouth. But I still enjoy seeing her character and seeing what's going to happen with her. Basically.
All right.
So I'm going to say good. Are you guys all right with that?
Yeah.
Well,
okay.
I thought that we were voting to split down the difference because we would both say could be better, so put her in decent.
Okay, all right. I'll concede to that.
Just because two votes could be better. You vote good.
I'll concede to that. Well, that was quite a challenge to get through that one. But now
I just messaged. I was trying to see if I was like, Thurman, are you free to roast Emma? He's got the best Emma roast.
He really does.
Furman, we are never going to agree on the Promised Neverland, no matter what we do. It's kind of a running joke from at this point now.
Literally, I want to see Luke and Thurman debate Emma's character arc.
Furman would probably win. I
want that to be I want that to be like a pay-per-view level thing on a Patreon.
All right, what's next?
Ash from Pokemon.
What about the bottom?
Oh God!
Not the cup of tea.
Right in the bin.
Nero.
Really?
Coming in.
Well, I would say could be better.
Here's the thing: I have not seen enough Pokemon. I watched it as a kid, but like I never sat down and like read. I know there's a manga, but I don't think Ash is in it.
It's the worst fucking Pokemon trainer on the goddamn planet.
Isn't he really just like a super generic kid show protagonist?
Well, neither has Goku, and he's on here.
Well, neither has
Goku is
Luffy.
actually
Luffy, I don't think Luffy has changed much in 20 years.
No, but there's a
Goku. The
difference
thing about
there.
Goku
Like, I mean,
and
here's the thing.
Luffy.
Luffy, good.
Goku and Luffy are both flat characters. Ash doesn't change anything about his world in the last 20 years of the series, so he has no room in this spot where Goku and Luffy are.
To add
Goku
on
and
to what
Luffy
Nero's
influence
saying,
their world.
it's like if we were trying to rank Homer Simpson. You know what I mean? Like he's not even meant to be a character that's like interesting. He's literally just a surrogate for kids to put themselves into. Like, Ash, I am Ash.
Okay. All right. So not our cup of tea. Would you?
I agree with the bottom.
Okay.
Very, very bottom. If there's a spot below the bottom for Ash, I would put him there.
And I must say that's got to be the most British thing I've ever done on YouTube.
Oh yeah, I saw that.
Not
like,
our cup of tea.
I mean, I'm like, he goes right in the bin.
I
Right.
prefer saying tea over
So I
coffee.
don't know if you guys have seen this, seen or read this series, but it's the main character from Yuna and the Hot Springs, the Haunted Hot Springs.
This would be Thurman if he was here.
Oh, trust me, my guy. He just said I can hop in for 2 minutes, and I just sent him the link, so hopefully he shows up soon.
Oh,
Yeah,
God.
all right. Well, if he shows up, I'll be able to see it, so I'll be able to add him.
I sent him the link. I assume anyone can send the link, and then he'll show up. Or he can use it? Okay.
Yeah, he should do. I should be able to see it.
I can't really say shit about the next two, but once we get to Yor, I can weigh in.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, you have Yor on here?
Yeah.
Yeah. I put Twilight on here.
Wait, Twilight
Or
or
Twilight.
No,
Twilight.
Lloyd,
Ugh.
I
am
was
tired. I'm 3 bangs into a freaking.
But you said the wrong fucking name, David?
I did.
You disgust me.
Hey, my
no,
mind is on other things right now.
So,
like, hello.
so are we all? Because I've not seen enough of the Haunted Hot Springs. From what I've seen, it's quite
it's fan
standard.
service.
Yeah, it's quite standard. But I've not seen enough of it to make an honest opinion.
Yeah, right there with Sailor Moon.
All right. Nero, did you have any opinions on it?
Sorry, I'm back.
All right, it's all right. We were just debating the Haunted Hot Springs.
I've never seen it. I don't think any of us have you?
I've. All right, okay. So not seen enough of. All right. So next is Hinata from Haikyuu.
Haikyuu, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not a big sports anime manga person.
I'm not a big sports guy myself, but I've started watching Haikyuu and I'm enjoying it at the moment. But
I know it's a cultural phenomenon for sports manga. That's about it.
Yeah, but from what I've seen of Hinata, I feel like he's sort of like on that Naruto level type character. He's decent, but he's not. He's nothing higher for me. So, do you guys have any other opinions on that?
Nope.
Nope. So are we all right with decent for him?
Or, I don't know anything about him, so if
all
you're
right,
the one that's
yeah, so decent. So now here we go. This is one I've been looking forward to at this moment. It's Twilight from Spy X Family, my second favorite manga.
I want to ask, has Nero seen? It's a very new manga. It's got like 20.
I haven't seen it, but Kid recommended it to me once.
It is really, really well done.
All right. Yeah. Thurman should be hopping in here soon. He just said okay. But until then, yeah. So I like Spy X Family a lot. I'll let go. David, do you want to summarize him and give your thoughts first?
He's literally James Bond, the manga character. Is one of the most interesting series that actually I never really liked the generic shonen, the turn your brain off, just do that, watch the beam fights. I like things that make me think, That's why I love like Monster and Code Geass. We'll get to that when we get to Lelouch down there, my boy. But like this is the slice of life style of early Bleach that I absolutely adored when I was a kid. And as a big Bond fan, I'm like, this is two worlds that I absolutely adore meshed into one. And then Twilight just captivated me. But to me, I think Anya is more the main character.
Yeah, the reason why I put Twilight is because I just feel like I just feel like because we start off with him.
Yeah. Hard to tell.
It feels
good
because it feels more natural to have him. But yeah, I see what you mean. Like all three of them could, three of them really... are easily the main character, like equally the main character.
Yeah, I agree. I don't think because usually my go-to on determining who the main character is, which we'll talk about later when we get to Assassination Classroom. My way of determining that is like who is narrating it, right? Who is this story being told from the perspective of? Like a good example of that is like Deku, obviously in My Hero Academia, it's all narrated by him. Whereas this series, there are times where it's narrated by all of them. You know, we go back and forth between all their perspectives. So
and that's why like I consider, and in my mind, like Anya is because she's the telepath. Like she kind of tells the story from her perspective,
that's
and then
point, actually.
And kind of from everybody else's. So you could really argue that maybe she's telling everybody's story, you know, telepathically. But like Twilight is the mascot of the series. Like Koro Sensei to me is the mascot of Assassination Classroom, not the main character. But yeah, for me, I put Twilight right there on good because he really, as much as I love him, I would rank Anya excellent. I would rank Yor at good, but because Anya has had the most development out of any of the main characters, because she is basically the focus of the story, like earning the marks, getting, you know, through all this, so Twilight can carry out his mission. Meanwhile, Twilight's feeding fucking penguins and
yes. So yeah, as David said earlier with the James Bond metaphor, it's like James Bond, but like wacky as hell.
Yeah. And I will say, all right. And I will say one thing about Twilight is he's also trying to make sure he doesn't get killed by Yori's brother.
Yeah.
So like, I suppose instead of like giving a plot summary, we should probably just talk about why we like him as a character. And like, I don't have a lot of. I think it's a little too early for me to judge him like as a character and get down like his motivations and all that shit. You know, because usually what I end up liking about a character is like diving into their ideology, what they want to do in the world, all that shit. Whereas he's just a guy. He's got an important mission. It's like to stop a war between two nations. And I think the main thing we're going to see through with his character going through the series is him learning to kind of, you know, step away from that whole, like, I'm a spy, I can't have a family, I can't have friends, yada, yada mentality, and kind of enjoy this. Because right now he has like a fake family for this mission. And that's going to start turning into like, but I actually love them. And I actually like having this family. So it's basically just kind of like a wholesome turning into like loving family life. That's going to be his character. So I don't think that's anything like super special. It's not like some deep philosophical you know, but he's enjoyable, and I would put him at good.
Yeah, I would agree with that. And I will say what my favorite moment from Twilight as a character is the moment where him and Anya find out like, oh, she's past it, and they're just having that moment of like joy, and they're just hugging each other. I believe it was in chapter 2 where they're just having that joyous moment, and it just cuts them asleep on the sofa.
Oh yeah, it's incredible, wholesome family goodness. And now, if this was, I think I'd have more to say about this. If this was Yor, I'd have a lot more to say. If it was Anya,
It was tough, but I decided to go with Twilight just because
that's
it was
totally fair. I get why.
That we started off with.
Oh shit, Mage's Bride, or not Mage's Bride. Whoops, I meant Abyss. Sorry,
Made in Abyss. So we have.
We both did it on today, Red.
Yeah.
So
I love Made in Abyss, but are you ready for a controversial opinion?
Go on. What?
I don't think. No, just to give you an idea of how little I think of this main character. Remind me of her name, please.
Reg.
What? Say again?
Reg.
No, Reg is the robot.
No.
Yes.
Wait. Let me look.
100%, because I love Reg. He's my favorite character in the series.
Made in Abyss.
Yeah. Find that real quick. Reg is the robot. Blow your fucking mind here.
Riko. That was it.
So, Reg's my fucking boy. Don't you just.
Oh, I'm not dissing on
I'm
Reg.
kidding. No one. I promise, man. I'm sorry. Sarcasm.
But no. I agree. Reiko is not really one of my favorite main characters. I enjoy Nanachi.
I have a rant to go on if you're ready for it.
I enjoy Nanachi more than Reiko. But yeah, Definitely. You can do your rant.
But here's my rant on Riko. Okay, she is very clearly. Oh, Thurman, turn off the camera. Hey. We don't need to see you, Thurman.
Hey, Thurman, please, for the love of God, turn off your fucking camera.
Never. Put your anime profile picture up.
That's not how you ask.
Please.
All right, I was summoned to roast Emma.
Yeah. So can we have a quick? He's got like 2, 3, 5 minutes, however long he feels.
Okay, go. Just roast Emma. It's
Real
like
quick, he's got to roast Emma, and then I'll get
It's like a band-aid for me. I'll just rip it off. Come on.
First things first. Let me evaluate. The king is evaluating your list so far.
So the only reason we wanted to put her in could be better. He voted good, so we had to compromise and put decent.
She's definitely not decent. She needs to drop down to could be better. Let's see here. Kazuma should be in God. I don't know why he's an excellent. That's blasphemy.
We discussed this.
The one next to Sailor Moon should be in trash tier.
So not my cup of tea. That's basically trash tier.
Yeah, so Kogarashi.
You were the only one that.
Oh yeah, the only reason we put her there because we don't know. We haven't seen enough. So yeah.
So Kogarashi needs to be in trash tier.
All right, well, go ahead, move it because he's the only person in this call that's seen it. So I'm going to take his word as law. Go ahead and move it.
Okay, I'll take his word as law.
He's awful. He's awful. Okay, let's see.
Do what you were summoned here to do and shit on Emma.
All right, so basically, if I had my way, she would be in not a cup of tea, but she could have been better because I think I've said this by like 30,000 times already, but one of the reasons why she's so terrible as a main character is because the author literally spoon feeds her everything she wants in the series, and I mean everything. Anything that she wants, everything goes her way. Whether it be she doesn't want somebody to die, they don't die. If she wants to protect someone, they're protected. If she wants to find a fucking like camera in like a demon infested forest, she somehow finds it. Like not even walking in the forest. It's like on the top of the tree, on the first tree she sees. Like she's a character who no consequences has been gone for her actions, even though every naive choice she has should have at least killed 100 people by now, but it hasn't. So not to mention the fact that she's just one-dimensional. Like it's like watching a stick figure walk around and do some shit. She's very out of character for her. Like some of the one of the things I mentioned in the arc before when they were making the promise is that she was figuring out puzzles and shit that she never would have figured out in the first arc. Like in the first arc, the brains of the operation was always Ray and Norman. Like she did two. I'm not saying
she was like the physicality.
Yeah, she wasn't stupid, but she was like, I wouldn't say she was Luffy.
Well, none of them were stupid. Remember, one of the plot points was that they were all like genius level because they were taking their tests and shit.
Well, I mean,
but
she was
there was definitely a hierarchy. Like Ray and Norman were the brains, and she was more.
So she was. It's clear that she was never like a real thinker, right? She was more so like a Gon. Like Gon is not stupid, but he's not like smart either, right? Like Killua was the one who was like, all right, Gon, this is the plan type of shit, right? And that was Emma, and that was fine. But all of a sudden, she's like, "Oh yeah, by the way, I'm just really smart, almost as smart as Ray and Norman." And so, yeah, she's just awful.
To add on to what Thurman's saying here, I've always made the comparison that like the Promised Neverland characters, it doesn't feel like there are characters and they're going through a journey. It feels like the author only has the story in mind and not thinking about the characters at all. And then the characters are literally just like these robot surrogates with which to tell the story through. Like it doesn't feel like these are people doing a thing, but more as the story is happening to the people.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Yeah, I can see your points. I've always said like I understand your points, guys.
Yeah, you can love the story all you want. Yeah. But like it feels like kind of like you ever watch like a playthrough of a video game, right? Like where like the video game has a good story, but the characters are just controlled. They're just moving around where the person tells them to go. That's what they feel. They feel like video game characters to me, and not like a really well written one. I'm talking like no cutscenes, but it's got a good story. But the characters are just kind of like, like a Zelda game, right? You know how like Link, he doesn't talk, he doesn't do anything.
Yeah,
that's what like the Promised Neverland characters feel like to me. They're just walking around and not really unique in any way. Any of these characters.
Yeah. So
that's fair. That's fair.
But yeah,
I'm gonna give her the benefit of the doubt and say she could have been better, just like Ichigo.
Yep.
All right.
You don't gotta move her if you don't want to. I mean, he did come in, and that is a triple vote, though. It's up to you.
I will concede. Now, I will concede.
I don't want to ruin your list, though, Luke.
No, it's fine. No, it's fine because I want to take everyone's opinion into consideration here, and I will concede. I will concede Emma for could be better.
So as the god who came in to smite all of the normies in here, Mongolian Master Race, I shall leave you guys to your own devices. I would like you to call me back when you guys get to Mob, Tanjiro, and Gintoki, because I feel like you fuckers are gonna put Gintoki in the wrong spot. And I will never forgive you.
Stay on and do the rest of this video with us, fuckface.
Hey, fuckface. Gintoki can go right in our not our cup of tea if you want.
David, you know I know where you live, right?
You know I have a gun, right?
True. I believe he's the only one of all three of us that own a gun.
Both of you two assume I'm afraid of death.
Whoa. Okay, well.
Okay, well, now that you guys got your wish,
video to the cops.
Yeah, now that you guys got your wish and actually just came in and stomped on my.
Are you sure you don't want to just stay for the rest of the list?
I have to.
It's
Honestly,
okay if you guys should. I'll call you back. What do you want to be called back for Gintama then? Or
Gintoki. Red, I trust you to put Mob in its proper place.
I got you on Mob.
I trust you to put.
Well, I will say when we get to Mob, that'll be something that will be up to you guys because I've not seen Mob Cycle yet.
Right, okay, all right, Thurman. I will summon you again when you're needed.
All right, I trust you with Mob, Edward, Deku, and Subaru.
Deku definitely goes in the trash, right?
Hey, everybody shut up. All right. Be gone with you, Thurman. Thank you for doing what you've done.
Have fun, guys.
Thanks.
All right.
Now, before we move on, yeah, let me just finish my rant on Riko from Made in Abyss real quick. So, and then I'll give everyone else that wants to say anything. So, my thing with her, it's so funny to me because I love that series so much, and I love Reg a lot. But like, I feel like the author just needed a character to be like a dumbass, to make all the wrong decisions to show how bad the Abyss is. Because like there's scenes where like Reg, he shoots his fuck off laser and then he's like, oh, I'm going to pass out for an hour because that's how this works. And he's like very specifically says to her like, okay, just stay. You're in a cave right now. Just stay in this cave and wait for me to wake back up because you are a defenseless child in like what's essentially hell. And I am a robot that can shoot fuck off lasers. So how about you just chill for a second? And then she's like, okay. And then like 2 minutes after he's passed out, she's like, no, I'm just going to start walking around for some reason. And then like she gets to like this small little incline. And obviously the thing with Made in Abyss is you can go down, but the more if you go up at all, you get fucked up. So she's like walking up for no reason. She's got Reg strapped to like her back. And I'm like, it's an hour. Just sit down and wait. Why? And like same shit happens. Because I'm caught up with the manga, Luke. This isn't a huge spoiler. There's another thing where she's down in like a deeper level, and she's like in like a lab. It's the same lab that that flashback took place in. They end up going there, confronting the guy. So she's in that lab, and she's this staircase. And again, if you go up at all, you get fucked up in the Abyss. And she's for no reason at all. She's like, I have to know what's in that room. So she's like, starts going up the stairs again and fucks herself up. And oh my god, and I'm dying. And like I've started to realize now, you have the companions, the main group of that show. You have I'm very bad with names. Nanaji is the one. She's the one that like turned into that like. Bunny girl thing. And then of course you have Reg, who's a robot, neither of which are affected by the Abyss curse, the strains of the Abyss. They're not affected by it. So they literally have to have Riko just so someone is affected by the abyss. Because otherwise, well, then it might as well not even exist. So Riko is literally there to show off all of how horrible the abyss is. She is a punching bag for the author. That is all she is. I get it. It's actually, it's not even like I'm angry. Like with Emma, I get angry how shitty she is. Riko, it's just funny to me because every time I see her, I'm like, oh, you poor thing. The author has fucking abused you. You are literally just a punching bag. That's what she is. She's just dumb for the sake of being dumb. And she's not even dumb. She's actually smart. Like, she's written to be smart. She's a scientist, yada, yada, yada. But she's actually just makes the dumbest decisions because she has to have the horrible shit happen to her. That's what, it's just funny. So I would put her in could be better. I like her, but she's just dumb for the sake of the plot, essentially.
I would pretty much agree with what you've said as well. Like, because I honestly prefer Nanachi and Reg to Reiko.
Same.
Yeah. What about David, Nero? What about you guys?
I gotta agree.
All right, so we're agreeing with
Nero. Have you seen Made in Abyss?
All right, so we agree.
I recommend it. It's very good.
All right, so we're agreeing.
Her name is Nanagi. The pronunciation is Nanagi because if you're going off Japanese pronunciation, they don't say. No. If it's spelled with a G, then it's Nanagi.
All right, okay. But are we agreeing with...
Isn't it spelled with a J, though? Bless you, whoever sneezed. I thought it was spelled with a J. Oh, okay. Then I guess I'm wrong.
I've never seen this, and I'm just going off of how it was pronounced.
Okay, I'm sure we fucked up.
So,
but,
so are we agreeing could be better?
Like Nanagi instead of
Gotcha.
G.
Yeah, it could be better.
All right. That makes me feel a little bit better about myself. The fact that
see, like I'm fair, Luke. I'm not
at least because I love both Promised Neverland and Made in Abyss, so at least I'm a little bit better that two are together.
See, the interesting thing with main characters, Luke, is that like actually most series that I love, I find the main characters to be kind of boring. It's almost always like the story, the side characters, the plot that get me. I don't need a main character to be like good for me to like a series, because as long as they have good side characters.
All right. Well, hopefully, if we're up for it, do the next one be main villains then?
Yeah.
Oh God.
That'll be.
What's this next one here?
That is Sakura from Cardcaptor Sakura.
That's all
you.
I would put her in good because again, she was one of the Cardcaptor Sakura was one of the ones that I first saw. I saw it around the same time as Digimon and Pokemon, and it was like the old like 4Kids style dub that had the Wind, Rain, Shadow, Wood, Sword, Thunder, Power, Sleep. That theme song. It was that version that I saw, and I liked it for what it was, and I did like Sakura as a main character.
Yeah, she definitely is one of the better main characters from that era. I'll give you that. I don't remember a whole lot about the series because I was a fucking kid when it was on.
Well, my mother always said that I swallowed the TV, so I can remember quite a bit of it. Like, I remember the climax to the whole series and how I loved that and how it just had me gripped. Where she was like trying to get the final two cards to transform and she couldn't. I was just like, are they gonna transform? Are they not gonna transform? So I remember that distinctly when I first watched that for the first time. And I know that the original dub cut a lot out. As I grew up.
I mean, it was the same for a lot of series back in that time. It was like, I remember they did the same thing with fucking Sailor Moon. They did the same thing with anything that had like LGBT representation, a lot of stuff that had, violence or religion representation. It was a big no for American companies to dub that properly.
Yeah. Actually, there's a fun thing that I want to say is that I had an argument a couple of years ago about because there was a scene in the first Digimon series, and we're getting to Digimon later on. But there's a scene where they're talking about bombs and T groups. You know the groups that I'm talking about, the ones that
the ones we won't mention the words because YouTube gets finicky.
And they actually cut that out. But I remember distinctly the characters talking about that in the dub of Digimon, and they were like, "There's no way that happened." And then the DVDs come out, and it's like, "No, they really did."
Yeah, the DVDs came out, they really did, and also the fucking there's a relationship in there that makes no fucking sense. But yeah.
In terms of Card Captor Sakura, I definitely put Sakura in good.
Yeah, I'll give it good.
Yeah. Red, do you have an opinion?
I've not seen it.
You've not seen it?
Mm-mm.
No.
I don't know.
Nero? All right, so David, are we agreeing good?
I haven't seen it.
All right. All right, now I don't know if you guys have I actually read the series because it's been manga only. It's never been adapted, but it's GE good ending.
Shit! Yeah,
I don't know if you guys have seen the series, the anime Domestic Girlfriend that came out at, like, I think it was last year.
I've heard of it, but yeah, I read good ending upon it was a Tekken 101 reactor.
I read that all the way through, and
it's been so long for me though. I don't remember everything. I just remember like.
From what I remember, like, because Seiji, that was the name of the main character, which is this guy here. From what I remember of him, I would say he's decent of a main character.
So a good way to tell this is like, okay, someone who read this back in like early high school, I could tell you what I remember from like 6-7 years ago.
Yeah. You can do it.
Was like the powerful story with the because I remember the girl he was in love with was gonna he was gonna get help, like get advice from this other girl, but then he became in love with her. And then I remember there was like a whole like, oh well, I can't be in a relationship with you because like I think she had like I don't know if she had been raped.
She was seeing someone at the time.
Well, didn't she have like some sort of like I thought she had like a traumatic experience involving sex.
No. What happened was he was trying to get with one other girl, and he was seeking advice from another girl, and then that advice worked, and he was able to confess to the other girl, but she was going out with someone, and then he started to get in love with this other girl that was giving him the advice. No, I'm
talking about the girl that helped him.
Yeah. She
have like a traumatic past.
Yeah, she did.
Yeah, and then because I remember like one of the reasons. That's what I remembered a lot was like that I thought was really well done. Like her, because I remember she didn't feel comfortable having like sex with him. I remember, and that was like a big wall they had to get past. Yeah.
And also, what I love most about them is that they're actually portrayed as a real couple. Like they get together halfway through the series, and then they break up afterwards because of that traumatic experience.
Yep, and that's a scene I remember crying at legitimately, where she was like, it's just painful for you to be near me now. I need you to get away from me. Like, so it wasn't even like we'll still be friends. It was like, no, I don't want to. I can't talk to you because it hurts me. And yeah, I remember that scene really well. I just remember, but no, the main character, I don't really remember much about him.
From what I remember of him, he was decent.
Jesus Christ, bless you for the.
Sorry,
Nero. I think you need to get tested for corona.
No, don't say it, David. But no, I would definitely put him in decent because of again, like. He's not anything special. He's like basically like just the average person. Like he's basically just average.
I agree. A lot of those like romance things, unfortunately, they don't put a lot of character into the male character because again, they want him to be a surrogate for like all the lonely weebs at home to I can get a girl too. That's what I needed when I was in early high school. So I will say, by the way, to Nero, I was not making fun of you for sneezing. It was funny to me because like. It was so like rhythmic. It was like what's up?
It was coughing, not sneezing.
Oh, okay. Well, then David's corona comment comes back. Yeah, I hope you're okay then.
Mm-hmm.
So okay. Yeah, I put him in decent.
I can't weigh in because I've never read.
You should,
decent,
David.
Could be better or decent. I don't know if I'd put him on the like. Is he as good as Naruto? I don't think so.
Now that you say that, and now that you say, thinking about it, I've got the main character from Bakuman, and I would say
always consider what you have on the.
I would say he's not as good as him.
Goes right in the bin.
Yeah, could be better. Now, here's one, because again, like I'm watching the series at the moment, and then after that I'm getting on to Hunter x Hunter. So, but I've not seen any of Hunter x Hunter yet, so this is all you guys.
This is my favorite series. I got it. Let me just give my credit. I've watched the 148 episode anime 5 times over and read the manga completely twice. I like it, to say the least. No, but here's the thing. Yeah, it's a beautiful thing how this works. I love the series. Gon, yeah, he's not awful, but I do think he kind of falls into that Luffy thing, with one exception, and I'll get to that. But like, similar to Luffy, he's just kind of like a happy-go-lucky kid, your typical shonen kid who's like, kind of screamy, energetic, yada yada. But what elevates him above the good category in like where Luffy's at is specifically, and I'll try. I gotta be not too spoilery because I don't want to spoil anything for you, Luke. But like in the Chimera Ant arc, it's a huge tone shift for the series where everything goes like pretty dark after quite a bit of happy-go-luckiness, and you have Gon in that specific arc get a lot of character development. It's really weird because like he stays
and then nothing after that.
No, I mean after that he's just basically gone from the series. But I won't say
exactly.
So his character arc it's odd because like all of the arcs leading up to Chimera Ant, it's basically just how to put this, like he's just kind of a flat line, and the only thing that you could really stands out about him is he's got like anger problems. Like he can switch between like happy-go-lucky to like I don't like this, I'm gonna make him pay kind of shit, right? And that kind of, at least in my opinion, was kind of like a foreshadowing to like what happens in Chimera Ant arc, where basically a lot of this is what, by the way, what should have happened to Emma, because he had like these standards and this ideology of like, well, I'm not going to hurt anyone that, is clearly someone who can care about other people. But these things we're fighting, these Chimera Ants, they're monsters. I have no qualms hurting them. But then there's one who killed someone very important to him that he is feeling this incredible amount of rage to. But also,
and then that person turns into a gender swap.
Hey, we aren't spoiling for Luke. He hasn't watched it yet. Stop. But either way, this Chimera Ant has killed someone very important to Gon, and again, Gon has kind of in his mind made it okay because he wants to go in and like murder this thing. And keep in mind, it's not just a beast; it's got sentient thought. It's a beast mixed with a human, So like, it's got thought, it's got emotions, it's got everything. And when he walks into, what he thinks is like time to fucking kill this thing, because he's got this seething rage, it's doing something that proves to him without a shadow of a doubt that they can be kind and compassionate. It's, I guess that won't be spoiling to say this. She's healing a little girl. There's this little girl dying on the floor, and this Chimera Ant is like healing her and helping her. And this breaks Gon so much, like it fucks him up because he's like, well, why would you heal her and kill Kite? And he sees the world like a lot of people do, with good, evil. It's a lot easier to be like, you bad, me good, but like really the reality is a lot more of a gray zone. And that's kind of what he has to learn in the Chimera Ant arc. And just watching him struggle through that is amazing. So what I'll say is, for the majority of the series, he's just kind of there. He's very, just like Luffy, he's entertaining. I love watching him, but like nothing special. But that one moment in Chimera, his arc in Chimera elevates him. So I would put him anywhere between good and excellent.
Can I weigh in?
Sure. Yeah, David, you can.
So what I will give Gon, and I'll try to be as non-spoilery as possible, is the one thing that elevates him above most shonen pro tags is that willingness to literally risk everything he has, every ounce of strength, every ounce of power, and go completely insane. And also, like
that's you said, he has very little like care for his own safety when he's fighting. Like it kind of reminds me of like when Deku would fight and just like, I don't give a fuck if my arm gets blown off.
Yeah, but even Deku.
Well, we'll talk about Deku later.
Yeah. But like Gon literally gives all in everything he does. Like, fuck.
Now you're doing it.
Yeah. Well, I've tested negative twice, so I don't have the corona. But
we call it the Rona in this household.
The Rona. But that's the one thing that Gon has. But I love every other character in this series so much more than Gon.
Oh yeah. By the way, Kilo was my favorite character of all time. Like not just of the show, of anything ever. Like,
yeah, literally.
He'd be above God. He'd be like God, Super Saiyan, God, Super Saiyan.
Okay. Shut the fuck up, Brad.
Okay.
But yeah, I would give Gon that excellent ranking. He can go right up there
for sure. So I'd put him in excellent.
He would go there with Kazuma.
Yeah, you know what? Gon and Kazuma. How would Gon is canonically confirmed to be good with MILFs. I'm sorry, cougars, but same diff, right?
We won't be misogynistic
there's literally a scene where Killua and Gon are talking because Killua is like, have you ever gone on a date before, Gon? Because like there's this like kind of yandere chick, and then Gon's like, yeah, you know, there was a lot of older women that came to the island, and I was the only kid, so they all like, you know, doubted out, like they were like, oh, aren't you so cute? And then literally, I can show you this fucking page. I'll send it to you, Luke. He's like, they call those types cougars. Gon's got game.
Right. All right. Nero, do you have anything to say? Anything to add?
No, not really.
All right,
watch Hunter x Hunter if you haven't, seriously.
So now we're moving on.
Oh, everybody here's starter pack character.
Well, actually, I will say, Goku was not for me.
Same. He's another, you know, Luffy type, Naruto type. They're just kind of there.
I love Goku from a nostalgic standpoint, and
but no, we don't use nostalgia as the baiting point,
right? But yeah, there's a big but. Like, he is the worst character on the fucking planet.
Again, that's an over-exaggeration too. But he's just nothingness to me. You know, like I would say
Yamcha has more development than Goku.
I will say this: the reason why I've gone off Goku is mainly just because of the fans as well, particularly when
that's me with Deku,
particularly with Death Battle when they did the Goku vs Superman, and you just had like people like for Neverworld just bashing Superman because of that. And I was just like,
for a harsh reality, Goku fans. Anyone?
And I was just like,
a Goku fan. Anyone who's like Goku, I love Goku. Oh my god, they are people that don't care about character. All they care about is power scaling.
I like Goku.
In their mind, they literally they make this fucking conflation, and it makes no sense. They literally say, well, Goku's a better character because he could beat your character in a fight. Like that's literally what they will always say. Well,
isn't Saitama the same way?
Like if we made this argument, hey, Senku's a better character than Goku, they'd be like, but Goku could beat Senku in a fight. And it's like, I don't care.
It's not about fights. It's not about
fights. It depends on the kind of fight too, like a mind game fight.
Oh, yeah. If it was a mind game fight, Senku would beat Goku.
Senku could petrify him with a petrification device.
Yeah.
But my beam.
Yeah, so where would you guys put Goku?
To me, I either could be better or not my cup of tea.
I would go could be better.
Yeah,
here's a harsh reality. Vegeta's the better character in the series.
Oh yeah.
Vegeta's actually a better father than Goku.
Nope. Fucking Piccolo's a better father.
I'm disappointed in all of you right now from that comment.
Why?
If you think about it, Goku has done numerous things where he actually is taking care of Gohan. He's a bad father to Goten, yes, but he's really been butchered in Super, so yeah.
Yeah, Super ruined his character entirely. Original series Goku, I absolutely adored. Like fucking Dragon Ball was one of the greatest like fighting manga out there.
Didn't Super like literally confirm that he is fucked Chi-Chi but not kissed her?
How does that work?
He didn't know what kissing was?
How?
But I came inside her and created these little fucking like, sperm devils.
Well, Chi-Chi gives me the vibe of someone who's like, I want a baby. Let me just teach you how to do this real quick. Okay, we're done now. That's all I needed from you. That's the whole reason I married you.
Right.
Either way, that's all I have to say about
he literally didn't know about kissing.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Nero.
Chi-Chi kissed him in the original series. In the original series, Goku is on the face. So how does he not know what kissing is?
Oh my god. good point. Superman.
Superman was just like, let's make more money.
They really should have just ran each episode by Akira before. Like, all right, is this okay?
No. Toei should have done that with Oda.
And whoever was making it should have just been like, "Yo, Toriyama, did we fuck up?"
Well, yeah, you fucked up on every regard, although, especially in ruining Gohan's character.
Like he doesn't.
All right. So now we're moving on
to
Naruto.
You mean Green Goku?
Yeah. Now for me, here's the thing. I would definitely put him in decent. He's a decent main character, but again,
his story peaked at chapter 1.
Here, I have things to say. Let Luke finish.
Yeah, but again, I just don't feel for.
Just gave him a bunch of notes and then went.
Yeah, you're probably right.
Right. Yeah, he's a decent main character for the series itself. I just don't feel anything for him. That's all I can say.
So, for me, Deku, it was an interesting ride with Deku because I actually quite liked him when he was introduced.
Midoriya should just go in the bottom tier.
I'm glad. Okay, so we're probably going to agree on this. Here's my deeper analysis than that on Deku. So for me, the problem with him is that what? Okay. Am I getting lag or like I'm just keep hearing like
no, I can hear you perfectly.
Oh, okay. So anyway, just to say about Deku here with me, he had an interesting introduction. I liked the concept of being born without a quirk in a society that deems quirks so valuable. I've always made a comparison like Deku basically he was dealing with like it's almost like being born with a disability, you know, like in that world, if you don't have a quirk, you're looked down upon. You're looked at like you're a lesser person. Like quite literally, they say you're like lesser evolved. Like you haven't hit the next stage of evolution with this toe thing. But anyway, though, that was kind of what made me like that scene with his mom, like hugging him instead of comforting him, like realizing, oh, your life's gonna be fucked, and like realizing that and not being able to even comfort him, her own son. That was phenomenal. And I've gone on record saying the best part about Deku was his flashback, because that flashback's amazing. But then the only issue is, as much as I love the setup, I love the story more than the character here, because I love the setup of like, okay, I am the number one hero, the symbol of peace. It's important that we always have a symbol of peace to make sure society doesn't collapse. And I'm dying here. Do you want this power? And then you got to take up that mantle. I think that's great. I think Horikoshi's greatest strength in that series is dealing with the ramifications of society and how it deals with superpowers and how to maintain this thin veneer of peace. That's what I like about My Hero Academia. Deku as a character, unfortunately, lost a lot of his, I don't know, like likability, sympathy points. I don't even know what you call it, but like he was on protect status, but like the more he masters this power, it's like he's got to master it. It's a shonen manga, I get it, but like he just becomes a little less and less interesting. When I realized a lot of what made him interesting was the fact that he was quirkless, you know, like what if they went down like a Rock Lee path with it? Like a Rock Lee, you know, in Naruto, he did a lot of shit without being able to do jutsu. You know, what if he was like, well, I'm going to be a hero without a quirk. And then he actually tried that. I mean, I feel like that'd be more interesting. But again, I like the story aspect, but it's just the everything that made him interesting was removed immediately. Cause it's like, oh, I am the kid that doesn't have a quirk. Hey kid, you want the most powerful quirk at chapter 1? Sure. That's the main problem with it to me.
Yeah, I agree with you. And one thing I will want to say, this has nothing to do with Deku, but it has something like I just want to say this now, since you're here, Red, of just how much Todoroki reminds me of Suku from Avatar. And just like if Darby is in Death Son, I'm going to be like, there's the Avatar comparison completed right there.
A known Westaboo, which is like Japanese equivalent of a weeaboo, except they're into like American culture. Like he loves the Marvel shit. He talks about cartoons all the time. Like he loves American culture, so it would not surprise me at all.
Yeah, but that's I just wanted to say that quickly.
So for me, Deku, I'd put him right there with Ichigo and Goku and Emma in the could be better category.
Okay, David.
Well, everybody knows I despise My Hero. Like it's just trash to me. it was ruined chapter 1, and the more I dove into it, I'm like, oh, he's just spoon fed. He's fucking the pampered little brat over there.
So he's to you what Emma is to Furman, basically.
Yes, yeah, really.
Good point.
I like
as far as David. I think it's still an enjoyable read, and when they delve into the societal impacts, that's when
that's the only thing that's fucking good about this series. Like, oh, this is if superheroes were real. Cool.
Characters are likable too, kind of like Bleach, but yeah.
But so, yeah, I put him in the bin, but go ahead and put him in. Could be better.
Right. Nero, what do you think?
I honestly agree with them, but what I think is that My Hero Academia would have been way better if Shin's character.
If who was?
Think about it. His quirk is something that's Shinso.
No. Oh, Shinzo. Oh yeah. The guy who has the you talk to him and then I know who you're talking about. Yeah,
him. Interesting. Actually, right.
I would honestly, in my opinion, I would honestly prefer it if it was actually focused more on Shigaraki as the main character.
Either one, but actually
one would be good, but Shonen Jump doesn't do that sort of thing. That's the thing.
Yeah,
I think that's a really good point you're making, because his whole story was like, well, how can I be a hero with this like quirk that comes off as so villainous, and going from B class to A class? That could be a good story in and of its own, right? I think you have a very good point there. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So are we saying could be better?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
All right. I don't know if you guys have seen or read We Never Learn, but nope. So I'm the only one who has seen it.
Hero?
Yeah. So again, Nariyuki, I would definitely put him in good as a main character because of the fact that his overarching goal is not entirely focused around like getting with any of the girls. It's like more focused on the fact that we've got to study, we've got to get into these colleges, and I've got to teach you of how to get into these places. And the romance. Pardon?
What is it? Like a harem anime? What is it?
It's basically what it is that Nariyuki has these two girls at the beginning who are good at literature. One is good at literature and one is good at science, and they're better than him. And he's just like, these damn geniuses, how can they be so much better than me? Like literally, the girl who's good at literature in the first chapter, she's fallen asleep, and then she just scribbles together a story for the teacher, and he's like, yeah, there's no way she's going to pass. And the teacher's just like, this is the most beautiful thing I've ever read. You pass.
Naturally better than you. I get that.
Yeah, but the problem is that both of them want to go into the opposite. So like the literature girl wants to go into a science college, and the science girl wants to go into a literature college, and they're naturally bad at them, basically. So like when he gives them tests, they're like getting low scores on them. So he has to teach them of how to be better at the grades. And the romances come about very naturally, because what I love most about this particular series as opposed to others, because you'll have the harem, right, and it will be made very clear right from the beginning who the main character is going to end up with. But with basically We Never Learn, because the author gives time for each of the girls in the harem to have development, to have their own side stories, to be the main characters, their own subplots, it's kind of hard to find out who he's actually going to be with. And what I most respect about the author as well is the fact that he's looked at his series and thought, all right, I know people are going to be rooting for one of the characters to win, so why don't I just give
what ifs?
It's creating what ifs of what if this character won, what if this character won, and that's something I commend for the author of the series. But in terms of the character himself, I would say he's good in the sense that he's not entirely focused on getting together with any of the girls. It's like more focused on his set goal. So yeah, I would put him definitely in good.
I haven't read enough to really weigh in, so
I didn't hear Nero. Have you read it at all?
Nero?
No, I haven't.
Okay,
no,
then that's all on you, Luke.
I haven't read it.
So yeah, so I'm putting him in good. All right, now here's one. Edward Elric.
Oh, okay, so
put him in God tier. God tier.
Yeah,
yep,
God tier. God tier.
So,
no,
I'm glad that we can all say
no
that
questions,
because so Edward Elric for a long time, maybe still even, I considered my favorite MC of all of anime / manga. There's just, remember I was talking earlier about Senku and what makes him so good? It's like he's written so well, so like nuanced, so delicately that it feels like a real person. You could pluck him out of the manga, put him in real life, and he'd feel like a real person. Yeah. Same with Edward. I think, and since it was like one of my first anime, it was one of the first anime I had ever seen where like the main character didn't seem like a demented, crazy version of a person. You know, like even like like going forward, you have like Light Yagami. There, you know, most people aren't. You're not gonna walk down the street and they're just like potato chip and eat it. You know, it's just like they exaggerate shit for anime.
I have a question for you, Red. Did you watch the 2003 series before Brotherhood?
I did not. I went right to Brotherhood because I hate filler, and I googled. I was like, which one doesn't have the filler?
Well, actually, to be fair,
I know they changed it and did some interesting stuff. I hear, but like, I'm a canon Nazi. I'll be honest.
Okay,
I'm like, if it didn't happen in the manga, fuck it. I'll be completely honest with you.
It was really interesting.
I did hear that
back and watching the original series, but yeah, Edward, I gotta concede God tier. Like,
what I'll say about Edward is just like his ideology makes so perfect sense. Like, I love his and I say this like, as someone who is a Christian, I relate to a lot to his like disdain of like religion and God, you know, because like it makes total sense from his perspective. You know, he sees a horrible world and he works within science and he sees what it can do. And, you know, like when he attempted to play God and like recreate life, he sees just the monstrosity it created. So he's like both like disgusted at the concept of religion, but also can't understand how there's something that science can't prove. And that's like this eternal thing. And I love that because, you know, the intro says it well. It's like, you know, we did all the ingredients for the human body, but the one thing that we couldn't figure out is the human soul, because, you know, equivalent exchange, but what could equal the value of a human soul? And, you know, as we see, even another human can't equal that because it's once it's gone, it increases in value. So like, I love that. Like, it's just his ideology makes total sense. I love him. I love like moments like when he's taking the gun out of Winry's hand, so that because he's like, listen, I don't want you to have death on your hands. You know, this was right after they had helped deliver a baby, and he's like, you know, your hands bring life. Don't sully your hands with this. Like, let me handle the death bringing. I don't want you to have to go through that. And it's so many beautiful scenes, such a well written character. Nothing more to say other than immediate God tier.
Yeah, I've got nothing else to say as well, except for one thing. I hate it every time it's like, who are you calling little? How dare you call me little?
I think that never got annoying to me. I always thought that was kind of funny.
Yeah, it's just every time someone said, you're just so little, it's just like.
Could you imagine if he grew up in the time where small was a fucking phrase?
If he grew up, if that series was happening during internet times, they'd call him a little cinnamon bun.
Yeah.
Like Deku.
Right. So now, controversial choice on this, but I do not like Light Yagami as a main character.
Hey, guess what? I'm right there with you. I think Light is overrated.
No,
it's better.
I didn't get to say my opinion on Edward Ulrich.
Yeah.
Oh, go ahead. I'm so sorry.
Sorry.
Not good. Well, as someone who's watched both of the anime, I'd say that both of them give off a different perspective of Edward's character. While Edward appears more childish in the original, he appears more mature in the later series, but at the same time, he stops certain things that happen inside of the original manga's adaptation in place with the 2003 one. And in the 2003 one, the ending was better. That's my take on that.
Dude.
And also, the anime tried to portray itself as a more manga comedy. Like, they used, as you probably guessed, they use a lot of the old traits from the manga itself, while it feels like even some serious moments get betrayed by some funny manga moments that were only put there just to be a light bit for the comedy. But with the original, they don't do that, and they actually, serious moments feel serious. They don't feel comedic.
Well, that's why when I finished Brotherhood, I have the whole series in volume format over here. I definitely reread it as a manga too to make sure I got the full experience. Because they skip some shit too in Brotherhood. They go too fast.
Yeah,
and they go too slow.
Yep.
So
that's why I suggest watching both.
Yeah, fair enough.
All right. Yeah, so anyway, as I was saying, yeah, I do. The reason why I don't like Yagami as a main character is for one thing he actually says in the series. If my mom and sister found out I was Kira, I would have to kill them. Like, that just completely ruined his character for me.
So that is not what does it. Because like I can understand he got to a point where his ideology and what he wanted to do was so big, he saw it as like, obviously he saw himself as a god, which we'll get to in a second, but like even beyond that, like there are people that exist in the world. There are people where like they get so focused on like some goal that they would absolutely do that. Like I believe I only know this because of an epic rap battle of history, but like apparently Stalin like put his own son in jail and had him killed or something because he was getting in the way of his like political revolution or something. I don't know. I'm probably like misquoting that, but like those people exist. That's a real thing, no matter how scummy it is. But what I will say about Light, for me, my issue with him is that I think he goes down that spiral of like evil craziness a little too quickly. I would have liked to see it a little, because like he goes from like, oh my god, I just killed someone, and then like by episode 3 he's like, are the cops trying to stop me? You're getting killed. Like it was really quick how evil he went. Whereas like compare that to something like Breaking Bad. Have you seen Breaking Bad, Luke?
No, I haven't, but I do know the overarching concepts of it.
I highly recommend it, but like that was a series done really, really well when it comes to like that's a character who started out with a good goal, who just slowly lets what they're doing corrupt them. And I love stories like that, where like you start off good goal and then you just see it as it corrupts them, because that's a really real thing. Whereas with Light, it was just so quick. It was like, and I'm evil. I went from like kind of understandable to evil. Whereas Walter, like he just does like slightly worse thing until he's finally like fucking poisoning children to fucking get what he wants. It's crazy. Yeah. So, but that takes like 5 whole seasons, years and years of TV. So yeah, my problem with Light is basically just, I think he's unrealistically like evil. It wasn't like, I just have this goal to end crime. And yeah, it went to the fact, if it was literally just, hey, I'm ending crime, I'm helping the world, I get it. But then he took it to like, I'm going to be the god. I was like, he wants to be worshipped. That's where it got a little unrealistic.
Well, technically, he does get worshipped too.
Yeah, because at the end of the manga, you have that panel that we're the cultists of Kira.
I do love that, by the way. Like, I love that he created essentially a new religion. There will be people fucking worshiping Kira's idea for so long.
Yeah, even in the one shots, like that continues over, like the Cult of Kira kind of just.
Yeah. So yeah, L is the true. Like if it was L, God tier immediately. Like one of the best characters of all time.
Well, I will say, I do like Light better as a villain than a main character.
Well, yeah,
he kind of isn't even really a protagonist. He'd be more the anti-hero. But yeah, he's.
Yeah. So I would put Light, honestly, somewhere around decent or good, probably.
I go decent.
I'll go decent.
Yeah, that's fair.
I mean, I was gonna go not my cup of tea, but I'll go.
That's ridiculous.
I'll
He's
go.
Not awful.
I'll go decent.
Extra.
All right. Nero,
Digimon,
Nero, did you have anything to say? Pardon? Hello? Nero?
About Light, I've never seen Death Note, so I can't help.
I do recommend though. He's not the best main character, but the story's amazing.
All right, so now we're moving on to
Can you guys
Tai.
hear
Yeah, we can now. Sometimes there's like a delay though.
Tai or Taichi from Digimon. So,
all right, you guys. I'm just gonna check out for a while. Scroll through Twitter. Have fun.
I would definitely put him in good tier.
Yeah,
he's actually a good character.
Yeah, he's actually one of the. I'm going to pull on Nuxtaku and say Digimon is actually the best isekai of all time. But yeah, literally, like this was my fucking childhood.
Yeah, and honestly, I did prefer Digimon to Pokemon.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and it's not just because of the original Digimon series. I've watched pretty much all of them except for the Cross Wars series.
Fuck that shit.
but I will say one thing. The 4th series where they actually turn into Digimon, I think that's one of the more underrated series.
Yeah, like.
But going back to Tai, I honestly liked him as a main character because of the fact that he was that kind of hothead that sort of like learned a lot from the people around him.
Yeah, he definitely started learning, and even now with the try / if we ever actually get
if we ever see the last evolution,
yeah, like he has the most complete character arc out of any real 90s fucking anime. Like, think about the journey he's had from the beginning to this new. I don't even really know if you could consider it the same timeline, really, because it's like sort of a continuation, but it's also kind of
a
combined shit. Yeah, it's kind of like that reboot.
Are you talking about the one that like the Digimon Adventure series that's coming out like literally in the next couple of weeks, like literally a couple of days?
Yeah, like that's I'm just considering that AU. Like, that's a reboot, whatever.
Yeah, I'm actually curious about that. Curious of where they're actually going to take the story in that regard.
Yeah, that. I don't know. I don't know how to feel about that. I guess we'll see.
Adventure Try a soft reset to the epilogue. I said that Adventure Try is basically a soft reset of the epilogue of Adventure 2.
Yeah, because I don't think anybody likes that epilogue.
Yeah, the epilogue was just fucking bizarre.
Yeah. But anyway, in terms of Tai himself, are we saying good?
Yeah, I'd say good.
Yeah, Nero, do you have anything to say? Good. All right.
No, put him as good.
Put him as good. All right. So another recent one, Tanjiro from Demon
Nero
Slayer.
has a teensy bit of a delay because a lot of times from our end, Nero, we're like asking you something, and then like right as we ask again, like you're responding to the first question. It's just like, so if you're ever wondering why the fuck we're talking like we are, I think there's like a teensy bit of delay for you.
Yeah.
So now we've got Tanjiro from Demon Slayer.
There's a delay for you guys. I can hear you guys on time.
Weird.
It's probably to do with the stream. I don't know.
Tanjiro,
I
don't give a shit.
Demon Slayer, so you guys.
Yeah, I've
thought
read
Demon Slayer was incredibly overrated. I don't get the hype. I really don't. If someone likes it, please explain it to me.
Here's what I'll say, Red, and I equate this to even Fate a little bit, but there's the Ufotable effect where God tier animation makes something blow the fuck up. Because people like pretty colors and flashy lights and pretty fights.
It's that like part of the human brain that's like relatable to like a fly. Like, ooh, colors. Let me fly.
Can I just say something, guys? You guys can continue talking because I really need to go to the toilet quickly. So I'll be back in a bit.
Okay, but say it like as British as possible, like the latrine.
I am going to the loo.
Yeah, thank you.
So that should not have been that funny.
Whatever.
But yeah,
go ahead, David. Your thoughts on
that? The Ufotable effect really blew the Fate series up, and then now you have a gacha game that rakes in billions of dollars because people like the story because they got to see all the pretty fights for all the different servants and everything. Who the fuck cares? Demon Slayer now in its in game, people are like, oh. This was fucking trash.
Yeah, I'm hearing that. Like, I've heard a lot of complaints about the manga recently.
So, I really can't give a shit about Demon Slayer. It's like, oh, it's pretty. It's like a Sword Art Online fight for me. You can animate a fight in a million different ways, but as long as the story doesn't fucking carry anything, who cares?
I think it's important to mention that like fights alone are not interesting. Why a fight is interesting is like what both people are bringing to the table. Usually it's like, what are they fighting for? What are the circumstances leading up to the fight? Why do we care who wins, right? If two characters that we've watched on screen for years get into a fight, it's a big deal because like you know what both of them are fighting for. You have who you want to win. And I think Hisoka Corolla when they finally fought in Hunter x Hunter, it was a huge moment In case you're an anime only, that happened in the manga, by the way. It's like, whoa, you know, this is a fight that's been leading up to for a while, and like I remember with that fight, I had no idea who I even wanted to win. I was like, oh god, I like both of them, you know.
Yeah, that was the same way with me. Like fucking Aiz and Ichigo fight, like that clash there.
Ichigo was gonna win, even though it's bullshit.
Yeah, but like that fight carried weight because you cared about what was at stake.
Because it was fucking years of build up to that one.
Right, like even Frieza and Goku.
Yeah, true. Build up is a beautiful thing. Like build some shit up. Let it sit for a little bit.
And for Demon Slayer, like that one fight in the anime that everybody hyped up, I'm like, oh, this was like 20 chapters.
Yeah, I mean, I guess I'll just say like I watched up till I didn't watch a lot of that. I think I watched like 10 episodes. I was just on it. I didn't think he was that special.
It was pretty. I can give it that, but Tanjiro to me is just like, whatever.
Not an interesting character. So I was hoping to extend that for as long as he was at the bathroom because we need him to.
All right, I'm here.
Oh, perfect, good timing. Yeah. So I would honestly probably put him on not like cup of tea. That's just me.
Same though.
Yeah, I would say because I've read up until when the first season ends. I've not watched the anime yet, but yeah, Tanjiro, I don't really feel as a main character, so yeah, he's not my cup of tea as well.
All right, cool.
Yato!
Hold on a second. Let me just. I see who's next real quick. I just need to pull something. Wait a minute.
And this is all on you guys.
He's a literal god, so it makes sense.
Quick, yeah.
Tonight we honor the hero. Okay.
So yeah, this is all on you guys again.
Put him in God tier, baby.
I don't know if he's God tier. That's a little much. Here's what I'll say is, I saw both seasons of Noragami, and my take on it was
put him in excellent with Kazuma.
I can concede. I can concede to excellent. He has not. He's a heathen.
No, I'm sorry. I haven't gotten there. David has, though, right?
Yes.
Okay.
He's fucking God tier.
My take, and then we'll go to the manga fans here. My quick take on it was, I actually remember, like, not even, like, I thought most of the side characters were kind of and like, but the good part is, Yato alone was so good that he kept me interested in this series that otherwise I was kind of on. Like, I didn't like the fights that much. I didn't like, there was a lot of stuff I was like meh on, but Yato as a character, yeah, you can hiss at me all you want. Yato was so good. It made that show good to me. So like, that speaks a lot to me. I think Yato as a character is phenomenal. I'd put him, yeah, he's above good. He's definitely better than Luffy. So I'd put him in excellent.
All right, so it's excellent for you guys because I've not seen Noragami, so I can't say anything.
Go ahead. Have a manga only.
Nero, I'll let you weigh in more because you haven't really had much to say in this video.
Putting Yato in God tier for going off for the manga, it distributes what Yato struggles with when it comes to wanting to be God tier. It also just struggles about Hitori and is on and on and about his relationship with his father, how his relationship with all the other gods happens, how he wants to become a god, stop being a god of calamity, how he wants to grow as a person, how he wants to be better to people. It shows how he grows as a human being. Or
they absolutely
that makes me want to read the manga more than anything else I've ever heard. That sounds really good.
And the fucking anime cuts a lot of essential shit
before all the good shit happened.
Well, here's the thing as well. We're not just talking about like anime. We're talking about manga as well. So like we can incorporate the manga.
Of course. I'm just an anime only, so all I can talk about was the anime.
I absolutely have to agree with Nero. He is 100% God tier simply because of how much he grows through the manga.
Well, that makes me definitely want to read the manga. I mean,
that's why I was missing.
I don't like the series.
Right. Okay, so now it's Kei from Actage. Now this is one that I've actually read a little bit on. Can I just say something?
We gotta step this out.
Yeah, have you sorted it out?
I really can't weigh in on Act Age because I haven't.
No. I was just because I could hear the echo from the YouTube.
Yeah, I don't hear it anymore.
All right, so I'm not hearing it anymore, so we're good. But yeah, from what I've been reading of Kei, I like her as a main character. I feel that she's I feel like she's someone who has problems, but has people around her that can actually get her to get out of those problems. Now, I'm not that caught up with the series myself yet, but in one of the earlier arcs of the series, because she's a phenomenal method actor, but she has a problem where she goes to like this set where they're on a samurai, where they're in a samurai place, and she actually has to watch a child that's basically like her sister get executed, and she can't watch that, and she keeps ruining the shots, and that's, I feel like, something that she could really very well overcome. But it's, again, something very realistic as well that I think we could all relate to if we've not been in that position before. As well, when we're seeing someone that reminds us so much of our sister getting slaughtered, even though it's all make believe, she can't actually get out of that notion as well, and that's a problem. But it's a very realistic problem that I think she could overcome. So yeah, from what I've seen of Kei, I would definitely put her in good as like a good main character. Maybe once I've read more of the series, she'll go up to excellent. But for now, she's just good for me.
I've not seen it.
All right. So is this just on me then?
David?
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah. All right.
Nero had to go. She said that. So thank you for showing up, Nero.
All right. Thank you. But yeah. So for me, Kei is a good main character. Not, and like I said, I've not read a lot of the series, but from what I've seen, she is good. I'm enjoying her so far.
Is that Subaru?
That is Subaru. Now, I have not watched ReZero. The only exposure I have to Subaru is through the Isekai Quartet, like the parody series. So
Isekai Quartet does my boy dirty.
That's the only exposure I have for him.
This poor kid is a literal foil for suffering. Like, I feel so bad for him. My boy. But he chose the wrong girl.
What didn't Furman want to come back in at this point? Because it was Subaru and Mob.
Yeah, get Thurman in here, Red.
Oh wait, who are we on right now? I don't even
Subaru from ReZero.
Get him on because Mob's next. No. He said actually no. Thurman said he trusts me on Mob. He just wants to be here for Gintoki.
Oh, okay. All right.
Because I'm just going to troll him the entire time with Gintoki
here. It's just I haven't seen Gintama, and David hasn't seen enough of it, so he wants to be here for Gintoki.
Okay.
Subaru, to me, just is literal suffering incarnate. Like,
literal suffering.
He lives.
I'm sorry. I know you probably mean that in like a dark way, but like I'm thinking like if that'd be a good way to describe like a really shitty character. Like, Asta is literal suffering to me.
Like, he dies, comes back, respawns, go just to die again. He is like, could you imagine the life of an RPG character where you die?
Like the final arc of Steins Gate.
Kind of, really, like to just be respawning over and over and over again. It has to be a living hell. Like, just let me
fucking
die.
Nuts, you get numb to death.
Let me die. Like, so to me, I'd say decent. Because he chose the wrong girl.
Okay. Red?
I have not seen.
All right, so we're going with
I haven't seen it, and I am sorry for it.
You have to watch it.
But like, hold on. Who here has seen Assassination Classroom?
I've seen about a quarter of Assassination
Exactly,
Classroom.
And it's like one of my favorite series now, so watch it. Or read it.
All right, so next up is Mob.
Right.
Fuck Mob. Ooh. To me, it's easy God. Sorry.
He is not God tier.
All right, you two can argue about this.
He can be an excellent. He is not God tier.
Why? What's your argument against God Mob?
Because he literally is no character development whatsoever.
So are you kidding me? What? Yo, he hasn't seen the show. There's no way. No, he's got. Yo, his whole thing is like going from the beginning, like the entire point of that story from beginning to end is about Mob accepting the fact that his life is his own and he doesn't have to conform to what other people want him to conform to.
He might not have to conform, but for fuck's sake, he literally just sits there to be. Oh, I am overpowered as fuck.
No.
That is one. That is one style in a nutshell. Like, oh. Powerful character.
I gotta bring in Thurman. You've mixed him up with Saitama, apparently.
They both are literally like, I am overpowered. The only difference is Mob, I will give, has that little angsty, like angsty, like
wait. Can I just ask, where would you guys put Saitama?
Saitama in the bin.
No, what, bro? What?
Okay, I'm moving Saitama up. I'm moving Saitama up so that we can put them both
together.
Hold
on a second now. So David is definitely being extra, right? Like he has these moments where, like, I don't even believe that he believes what he's saying. I think he's just trying to be extra. There's no way.
Don't you hear me laughing?
I will say.
Are you memeing? Hold on, wait. If David's memeing, I need to know.
I'm fucking with you, dude.
Are you? No way.
Saitama I don't like because he's just overpowered parody character 101.
Funny.
He's funny, yes, but like there's a level of like funny, and then they're just extra.
I can accept Mob not being God, but like,
but here's the thing about Saitama. Is he a good main character? That's the question we've got to ask. Yeah, he's funny. He's funny, but as a main character, is he good?
For the series that it is, yes. Because again, it's not a typical shonen series.
Yeah, so that's what we've got to take into consideration.
I would definitely not give either one of them God.
No, that's fair. I wouldn't give Saitama God. It's just Mob is different than Saitama. Like what I like about Mob, it's all about like Mob tackles numbness so well. And
he is numb. He is just angsty. He is depressed. He has to go through everything. Yes, I give him that.
No,
but
he's not angsty though. Like he's not even angsty. He's literally just like numb to everything, and he doesn't like complain. But he's not one of those depressed people that's like complaining about it constantly. Like, oh, woe is my life.
He's not a Sasuke level of depressed. I will give him that.
No, he's just quiet. Because
he's quiet.
He has a very unique situation that if he lets his emotions get too out of check, and we're talking like even a little too out of check, he could kill people and potentially destroy the whole city. You know what I mean? Like that's terrifying.
That's terrifying. It does it well, but I just can't give him God.
And that like destroys his entire fucking social life. Like no one wants to be friends with him because he's like the freak that's always like monotone and doesn't talk more. You know, because he's like literally. He's like subconsciously like just being as emotionless as possible because he's terrified of his own power. I think that's really awesome. And I don't know. That's fine. We don't got to give God. I would go excellent. He's definitely better than Luffy.
Yeah.
Excellent. Why the fuck is... Oh, wait, never mind. I'm sorry. I was...
What were you going to say?
Wrong. I thought I saw some blasphemy for a second, but I mislooked at it.
All right. So
what blasphemy did you think you see?
Are we agreeing for Mob and Saitama excellent, both of them?
No, Saitama is not as good as Mob. Saitama is good.
So should we just put... So I'm willing to put Saitama in good.
Yeah. That one's good.
Yeah. And I will say one thing. I've actually found someone who could actually kill Saitama. Like, I could actually beat him. Doomsday from DC. Because if you kill Doomsday one time, he'll just come back to life, and then he's immune to whatever killed him in the first place.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah. So now...
Get on that screw attack. Vash
the Stampede, Johnny on Bosch's first anime role.
Hold on, let me see if I can get my boy Andrew. Oh, here, hold on. He loves him. I'm gonna see if I can get him to send like a voice memo. Okay. Hey Andrew, we're doing a video. It's like an anime tier list thing, and we just got to Vash. Could you send me like a voice memo of why you love Vash? Thanks. All right. He likes Vash a lot. Yeah, I've only seen it once.
I've only seen it once.
What about you, David?
I seen it once back in the day, and then I bought the box set, and I'm going to be using that for something else down the road. Kind of something that I want to do on our channel. But
yeah, I like him. I think he doesn't really stick out. Like, it's not like hugely memorable to me, but he definitely has personality. He's like a sillier Spike Spiegel from, or Siegel. How do you pronounce Spike's last name? I always fuck it up.
Spiegel. I've always pronounced it as Spike Spiegel.
Someone told me, no, it's not how pronounced the P sound.
Yeah, you gotta do it this way. Yeah,
you know how people are with fucking pronunciations, but yeah, we're
used to that with Gon.
Yeah, he's like a sillier Spike Spiegel. Spiegel. Like,
okay, they're jewels from fucking what culture?
And I like it, and he's like obsessed with like pacifism and like
love and peace.
Where like, you know, his whole thing is like he has this air around him. People think he's like really deadly when really he's actually just like this peaceful guy, but he can be badass.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't have a lot to say. Like I said, I've only seen it once. I enjoyed it. It didn't really stick in my mind too much, but I definitely think he's a well-written, enjoyable character.
I will say about Fash as well as a character is that once the ending comes in where he like he's forced to kill someone for the first time, that kind of kind of breaks his character. To the point that he's not the same again, and in a way, it lets the villain win because that's what he wanted to happen. He wanted to be killed by Fash's hands. So I would say Fash as a character is good. I don't know about you guys.
I would say good.
I mean, I remember very well like the scene where he's got like that because he's like a plant, whatever that means. I remember like his species. He's not human.
No.
They found him in like space. He just showed up on their like spaceship and shit. And I remember I was looking through the manga. They do a lot more detail in the manga. The anime like really skipped through his origin story, so that may add or subtract points, or probably like add points if you read that. But yeah, you know, I just found him enjoyable. He didn't like stick out crazy bunch to me, but I liked him. Andrew said 1 sec on that voice memo, so I don't know. Maybe we'll listen to it whenever he sends it.
Yeah. So, Red, are you saying good for Fash?
Let me look how I feel about that. Is he better than Naruto? Yes. Light? Yes. Yeah, I'm okay with good.
All right. Now then, we've got Ishida from A Silent Voice. Have you guys seen or read A Silent Voice?
No, remind me. A Silent Voice is the one where it's the deaf girl and he's bullying her and then they become friends, right?
Yeah.
I like that. I liked it quite a bit. I thought he had a really good character arc and their relationship was good. Although I personally wouldn't put characters from movies on here because one of the reasons I like long running. Hold on, do you mind if I finish what I'm saying?
Yeah.
One of the reasons I really like long running like manga is because you get so much of a deeper look into their character. Whereas you only get one movie. There's not, you know what I mean? So there's not like a super lot.
Unless you're like the MCU and then you get 22.
But yeah, I mean, I remember liking it. I remember that movie being quite emotional. It's been a while since I've seen it, so I don't have it fresh in memory. So I'll let you guys take over from there. But I remember liking his relationship with.
I liked it.
Yeah. Go ahead.
But yeah, it definitely didn't give me enough to really, give an actual rating because it is just the one movie or what is it, like one adaptation of a manga?
It's one adaptation of a manga which is like 7 volumes long.
Oh, there you go. There's your fucking problem.
Yeah, but I will say I did like his character, and I liked the fact that his bullying did actually have consequences, and he actually had to rebuild.
I remember the scene when she tries to kill herself too.
Yeah, and he actually had to rebuild himself up because if you remember,
a really big moment where he like and it's a big deal for like a kid to realize this because I remember he was pretty young. I think he was like still in middle school when he realized, but he definitely had like a big realization, like, oh shit, I'm kind of an asshole, you know?
Yeah. It wasn't even in middle school for him. It was elementary school. Yeah, it was elementary school where he started the bullying, and then they all turned against him, and then he kind of like blocked everyone out. Then for like about a good 6-7 years.
And that was the manga or the anime that did that like X thing, like X over the faces, right?
Yeah. The manga did that,
and I loved that metaphor because like it was like it was a smart way to do that because he didn't look at people's faces, and so even when we got like a third person view of him to help suck in the viewer more, the faces would be X'd out even for us because he isn't looking at the faces, so we don't see them either. So yeah, there was a lot there. There's a lot of psychology there. I like how self-reflective he was and how he really made a genuine effort to change, because that's something that you don't see a lot in the real world. Like people that realize that they're being shitty and they make a genuine effort to change.
Now you see, if Bakugo was more like him, I would probably like Bakugo more from
he's getting there. I mean,
MHA, but no, I Bakugo's my least favorite character just because he's a bully, and
Bakugo is unnecessarily mean. Like he's ridiculous.
And given that I was bullied as well when I was younger, I just can't stand that.
Well, I also don't understand, like, with Bakugo, he's so, what's wrong for here? It's another one of those characters that, like, if you pulled him out of the manga into real life, he would, within a week, be in an insane asylum.
Yeah, definitely.
He's legitimately got mental problems, like that kid. Like, there's something wrong with it. He needs help.
But in terms of Ishida, I would definitely put him in good, just for the arc he goes over.
Yeah, given the adaptation and how limited it is, and just how much development we do see, I would give him good.
All right.
Yeah.
All right. Now this one, I don't know if you guys have seen it. The quintessential quintuplets.
Nope.
Basically, this guy is Nariyuki, but light. Basically, light Nariyuki, diet Nariyuki. So I would say not my cup of tea for one reason only. It's that half the manga of quintessential quintuplets is basically him getting the girls on his side, whereas with Nariyuki, he basically gets them on his side within the first 10 chapters. So that's all.
It's like I'm building my harem for half a manga and then absolutely fuck off for the rest.
Pretty much, yeah. Pretty much, I would say.
Oh, trashed here.
Yeah, not my cup of tea. Not my cup of tea.
Is that the fucking blood cell girl?
Yeah, that's the red blood cell girl for themselves at work.
I'm gonna tell you, I don't give a fuck.
Don't you?
That anime might as well just be like a Bill Nye the Science Guy episode. I'm not like I was. Whatever.
Bill.
All right. So are we again saying not our cup of tea then?
Have you read the darker version?
I haven't seen. Here's the thing. I have. Oh yeah, the one where they're in like a shitty body.
A shitty body, and then kind of like one is like, my function is to give this person an erection.
Phenomenal. No, see, here's the thing. I haven't seen enough. I watched one episode immediately.
Right. Okay, so should we just put not seen enough of then?
Well, I don't know how she is as a character. I assume she's just a red blood cell. Like did they really go deep into this red blood cell?
From what I've understood, they go pretty deep into it. I just don't give enough.
Why does a red blood cell need motivation? It's a goddamn like biological robot.
Because this is Japan, and Japan is fucking weird.
Japan has now made people want to fuck a red blood cell. Congratulations.
There is enough hentai to confirm that.
Wow. I just don't care. I'm not. It's not even a not cup of tea thing. I just do not care about this game.
All right. So. Yeah, and I don't care as well. So not my cup of tea.
Whatever. It goes in the whatever it exists category.
Yeah, whatever it exists. All right. Now this is probably one of my favorite animes. Like it's probably number 2, right below Monster. But Toradora. I don't know if you guys have seen it.
I have not. I'm sorry.
I heard of it. I have not watched it. It's on my list of things to watch.
You need to watch it. You need to watch it because
I'll watch it when you watch Hunter x Hunter.
I am gonna watch Hunter x Hunter.
You finish Hunter x Hunter.
I am gonna watch
Hunter x Hunter, and we will live stream us watching Toradora. How about that?
All right. Yeah. All right. That's fair. That's fair enough. But yeah. All right. So this guy's Ryuji, and basically his whole deal is that his eyes are so intimidating that people are like, oh, do you want our wallet? Like they think he's a delinquent, and it's like, do you want our wallet?
From One Punch Man?
Pardon?
Like King from One Punch Man?
Pretty much, yeah. So it's like, so they're like, oh, it's him. Do you want our wallets? And he's like, why are you giving me your wallets? It's like, oh, don't speak to us. And then, but one thing I love about him is that he's basically like Levi from Attack on Titan in that he's a massive.
Right there.
He's a
Levi
massive.
is legitimately one of my favorite characters.
He's a massive clean freak. He is so OCD to the point that if he in the first episode he sees like this tiny little splodge of mold, and he's like, "Quickly, we've got to get it out of here! We've got to get it out of here! We've got to get it out of here!"
Look, Fred.
Yeah, and I will say one thing. Actually, Toradora was one of the anime that actually inspired the book that I actually wrote, in the sense that it's two characters who are in love with two other characters that are trying to get with them, but my book goes off in a totally different direction from Toradora. Not in the sense that the two main characters do get together, because they do. It's just structured a little bit differently.
Don't
but
spoil your book, bro.
I'm not spoiling my book. Yeah,
spoil they got together.
I make it pretty obvious if you read the blurb on the back that they get together.
I thought that was like your big criticism of harem manga. It's too obvious.
No, because like Toradora, the whole point is that it's not that they do get together; it's more of the journey of how they get.
That's fair.
Yeah. So that's pretty much what it is. So yeah, and the female lead, she's like this little tiny girl, but she's basically like Tatsumaki in the sense that she'll punch your lights out,
Just the more you talk about this, the more it interests me.
Yeah, it's really interesting because the female lead actually does confess to her crush in like episode 3, but he's like, no, I like it when you're with him, and she doesn't actually pick up on that. Like, what he's actually saying.
No, that's actually cuck. People overuse simp.
Yeah,
but
in terms of Ryuji, I would definitely put him in good. He's not in excellent, but in terms
the
of
question is he jacking off in the corner while the other two are together?
I have absolutely no idea. No, actually, I don't think he is, because we don't see it.
We don't see it.
He would be more focused on the fact that why is everybody so? He would be more worried about the cleanliness than who's.
Yeah, if I jack off in the closet, I might get my semen everywhere. So I mean, I can't do that.
Yeah. I will. He is literally. If him and Levi were in the same series, the world would be
just clean. Put them in a room, and it'll be spotless by the end of the day.
Yeah. But no, just from the journey that they actually go on, and the way the relationship he has with all the other characters, particularly his mother, because its relationship with his mother is kind of a bit edgy, because for the sense that he doesn't call her mom, he just calls her by her first name, so it's kind of like a bit on the edge. It kind of gets you guessing, like, oh, why are they so on the edge all the time? But yeah,
well, put them wherever you think then.
I would say good. I would say good.
Also, I'm glad that we added this good category, considering it's the most film.
Yeah.
Einzungon. Overlord is on my list.
I'm not a big fan of it.
You're a fucking cock.
Hold on, before you gush, let me just say my teensy baby opinion, and then you basically get the entire decision on this. I just like, he's just a pervert weeb otaku, but not even in the funny way, just in the cringe way. So like, again, this is episode like 1 and 2 I'm talking about, but like, he's just like,
you didn't even give it a chance.
Okay, David, you know what? I nothing I hate more than people that don't give shit a chance. So I don't want to be hypocritical. Next time we hang out, I'm gonna give it 10 episodes. Okay.
All right, there. You actually give it a fair chance instead of just bitching out.
I was being a bitch back then. I've since then seen Andrew has been a bitch, trying to get him to watch anything is a struggle. So like, I now have a deep hatred for people that don't give shows chances. So I got you.
So you're just gonna strap discount Danny Sex Bang down and make him watch it?
Well, I couldn't. I was trying to, and like Luke, you'll understand me how infuriating this is. I can't get my buddy Andrew to watch Dr. Stone. He's like, oh, I don't. I'm like, come on, man.
What? Why? Is it because of not much? Is it because of what you said in the MHA video?
No, he's not like one of those. He's one of those people that, like, if it's not his idea to watch something, it's very hard to get him to watch it, because he's all about like, I don't know, like, it's hard to get him to want to do something. Like, you ever watch the movie Inception, Luke?
No, I've heard of it.
So there's an idea in that movie. The point is they invade people's dreams in order to plant an idea in their brain. because people are a lot more likely to do something if they think it's their idea. So like that's how Andrew, I think a lot of people, but specifically that's how Andrew is, where he's like, if anyone recommends him something, you know, he'll say, oh yeah, I'll get to it, but then he won't. But then like 2 years later, he'll be like, oh well, I felt like watching it, so now I watched it. It's like,
actually, isn't that a lot like no disrespect to him, but isn't this a lot like how Tekken is, basically?
Yes, actually. So you know how I was a fan of Tekken for years, like back when he started his Bleach reviews. I was the guy in his chat constantly read Hunter X or watch it, like just experience Hunter X Hunter, and like I remember he was like, oh well, I read the first arc. Oh, is Thurman back?
I heard blasphemy. What the fuck is going on?
So David was blaspheming against Mob hard.
We had to compromise.
You had to compromise and get him an excellent.
I pushed for God, but David was blaspheming.
He's God. Explain to me why he's an excellent.
Oh, okay. We're backtracking real quick, but it's worth it.
Because it's just angsty boy for the sake of being angsty boy. That was the meme I was going with. And yes, I was literally memeing, but there's no real fucking pull for him. I feel like the same way I do with Ancient Mage's Bride. And you see where I got my girl Kousei at fucking decent. But I feel like the rest of the cast helps carry the fucking series, and Mob does not rely on just Mob.
Here's the thing, and here's why.
You gotta get your quality a little bit better.
Can you hear me? Okay, good.
Yeah, sure.
Here's why Mob isn't God, okay? And this is why, one, the author is one of the best mangas.
Is he though?
Yes, he's one of the best. He's one of the best. 100%.
Let him finish.
He's up there with Oda and Togashi and all that, and I will fight for that today. I die.
I do agree.
So the way one writes Mob is fairly simple. Mob is someone, and I explained this in our Mob Psycho videos, is that Mob's whole character was that he's trying to be something different than what he is, right? And we go through this as a whole story, right? The whole point of Mob's story arc is that he is a young, impressionable middle schooler who has these Esper abilities, right? Like any one of us would be ecstatic, happy to be different, right? Because if you're an Esper, you're technically classified as special, right? You can do all these amazing things. You can bend spoons. You can lift up buildings, right? You're so special. But the way he's written, Mob doesn't like that, right? Because we see this at the beginning of the series that Mob used his abilities to impress the girl that he liked. And then the one, you know how the one flipped that shit on his head? The girl, Sibomi, was like, that's kind of boring now, right? So the one thing about him that was interesting, his Esper powers to impress the girl he likes is now gone.
He kind of became like a one-trick pony because he had to suppress his emotions to deal with the powers. So without emotions or conversational abilities, the ESP tricks only go so far.
And it's crazy because it's taught like that. The whole reason why Mob wants to be a part of the building club is to change himself. He wants to be more confident. He wants to go out there. He wants to make new friends and all this extra shit like that. The reason, and we explain, spoilers 3 to 1, explain why he does that is because at a very young age, Mob didn't suppress his emotions and he let his Esper abilities go wild, and he ended up hurting his younger brother. And so as a defense mechanism, what he did is that he subconsciously, or I think it was fortunately or subconsciously, suppressed all of his emotions. So the Mob's explosions that goes on is him suppressing like all sorts of emotions that he has, so he won't explode. And the Mob explosions is him letting the emotions build up to a point to where he just explodes. That's why it's called Mob explosions, because he gets to a certain point. Because we all have that one suppressed emotion that if we let it linger for too far, just one bad moment just makes it explode, right? I'm pretty sure we've all had a bad day at work, there's an awful day at work, awful day of the week, and then it's just that one person. It could be like your roommate, brother, sister, mom, just does something that wouldn't even piss you off on like a normal day. Let's say like if Red had a bad day at work, right? And then we had to film.
Oh, you have no idea right now, Thurman.
Yeah, which I did have a bad day. Well, no, I did. I explained it to Thurman. I was.
Yeah, he had like a shitty day at work, right? His whole week was shitty. And then Sunday comes around, it's time to film One Piece. And then I do a joke that we've been doing for a long time now, and Red just explodes on me, just out of nowhere, right? So that's basically what Mob is, and that's with different emotions. So the reason why he's so well written is because Mob is a character who is the opposite of Saitama, right? Saitama is a character who wants to feel excitement by fighting stronger people. He already reached his peak too early, so his whole purpose is to try to find excitement by fighting someone stronger than him. Mob is the opposite. Mob is someone who has this extraordinary power, but he doesn't want it. He was given this power by accident, but he doesn't want it. All he wants is to essentially feel emotion and to live and be like everybody else, because clearly in this world, other people think espers are cool, but to Mob, that's not cool. To Mob, it is a power that hurt his little brother, that his crush doesn't even like anymore. To other people, might make him feel like he's weird, right? So, and you even see it when he talks to Reagan. This is why he likes Reagan so much. It's because Reagan, even though he's a con artist, right, he basically was just trying to say the talk that he had with Reagan at the beginning of the series fucking helped him, because he was like, these powers are scary. They're fucking, they're ruining my life. I'm only like a kid, like I don't understand them. And that whole talk was like, Reagan was like, listen, he was talking out of his ass, but Reagan doesn't realize that talk really helped him. He said, hey, Mob, listen, okay? Us espers are people who have extraordinary abilities, okay? Just like athletes who are really talented, who can run really fast, or people who can cook really well. These are skills we've been given, and we have to accept them. And just like how you wouldn't, these are also a weapon, like a knife, right? And you wouldn't point a knife at anyone, right? So basically, he had Mob learn to accept his powers in a sense, and that's how Mob, essentially became. Because and Red, you saw the anime too. It actually talked about this in the anime when he fights the guy who was possessing the girl.
Mm-hmm.
Imagine if Mob didn't have Reagan, his little brother, the people to help him. Mob probably would have become a serial killer.
He not even just a serial killer. With the power he has, he could have literally taken over the world.
Like
I'm talking like literal like Earth dictatorship. Like I am your new god, bow to me type shit.
Like I mean, the same could be said for fucking Saitama. Like
of course, but Saitama is, again, Mob Psycho is not written as a parody series. It's taken a bit more seriously, whereas One Punch Man has serious moments, but rarely.
I wouldn't even say Saitama. I don't want to say Saitama's the same, because Saitama was a normal guy, and saving a little kid is what made him motivation. Like that, you can't really compare the two, because while Mob was growing up and has a kid mindset, Saitama was already an adult, and we don't even know much of Saitama's childhood. We know from Saitama's backstory, he was a regular guy that got fired, and then he had to save the kid from the lobster guy, and then that made him be like, shit, I want to be a hero to help people, and that's pretty much it.
Right.
Saitama never was really evil, but we see that if Mob, because we see that he played the scenario in this head, right? If Mob was bullied, didn't have anybody to help him, because without the people surrounding him, Mob was just a normal, boring middle schooler. Like that's really all he was. And the biggest issue and the biggest talking point was that if Mob didn't have Reagan, didn't have anyone to calm him down, he literally went a bit of dictator, like Red said, because he's an impressionable middle schooler with the power to destroy a fucking city. Like you see at the end of the series, just letting his emotions splurge, he destroyed literally almost the entirety of the city. So the reason why Mob is God tier is because we see Mob go through this change of importance throughout the entirety of the webcomic. We see him learn new things. We see him try to understand like why people don't like espers, or why people are afraid of spirits and all this extra shit like that. We see him learn to accept Dimple. We see him try to learn to accept himself and his powers. And a big spoiler at the end of the series, I won't spoil it for Red, but the end of the series kind of shows you just how much Mob is keeping his emotions. So I wouldn't even put him in excellent. I definitely put him in God, because Mob, the way Mob was written, he was supposed to be written to learn to accept yourself, to learn to accept the gifts you've been given. because at the end of the series, we see that Mob has heavily restrained from using his powers now. He's learning how to do things normally. Because at the beginning of the series, he uses extra powers for everything, and he's trying to live.
And I thought the development of Mob in season 2, because one of the things David said was he has no development, and which was like one of the most ridiculous things I've ever heard. Because like in season 2, like you actually see him like learning how to socialize for the first time, and like there's a big change in his character, even just in season 2 of the anime.
Yeah. Oh my God, David, you said he doesn't have development, my nigga. Have you read the webcomic? Holy shit! This man has some of the best development in the series.
And like I said, when Red drug your ass in here, as I was memeing. But
yeah, I don't know, because you know how David be. Like, he says he's joking. I don't know how much of it was really joking or not. Now he's fucking pulling that. I'm just lol. I have no idea.
What I really despise with all of One's stuff is it tries to be. I love One Punch Man and Mob Psycho, but what I despise with all of his series is, one, the art is atrocious, but two, the biggest fucking flaw I find in any one series is that it can be all over the place and there's no one clear path. Like Saitama is like, well, here I'm serious, and now I'm just a joke character. Now I'm here. Mob goes through the ebbs and flows of like, I'm angsty. No, I'm serious. No, I'm angsty. No, I'm serious. But to me, there's no real stability in any of one series. And I give the same crap to Denji. Like, he's literally there for tits, but he also is this fucking badass fighter. It's something I have with a lot of shonen series, is like that all over the place bullshit. Whereas with the more sinning a series is, the more you have a direct path. That's why the older I get, the more I'm like, I love my monsters. I love my fucking my Norigamis, stuff like that. Fair instead enough. Of like, bleh.
Well, either way, I'm gonna be real. Said his piece. You're never gonna get him to agree.
What you just said was humans, my guy. Like them being back and forth.
Good point, though. I agree.
Them being humans. Like
there is
no clear path. Like I agree with them.
That's human. That's human.
It might be human nature, but I feel it's told better through an actual human than it is through page, and that's a lot better.
So what you're saying is, like, as a character shouldn't be. There's a level they can be too realistic.
They can be too realistic and poorly written, and then they can be too realistic.
There's a point there for sure. Like, obviously, you don't want to just draw the manga of like Joe Schmo, the middle-aged businessman. Like you can be real realistic, but it can get boring. I get that, but like, yeah, it didn't hit that level for me. Now, real quick before Thurman, because Thurman's here, go ahead and finish. Was his name Ein?
So
finish him, but then Luke, could you move?
Yeah. I'll move him up.
Gintoki right after. Yeah. So go ahead and finish Ein from
let
Overlord.
me see how far you guys have gotten. Let's see here. Okay, Edward, where he's supposed to be.
Yep.
Kazuma still hasn't moving. Neither has Mob. Going okay. Naofumi. Oh, okay. Luke, I know you put what's his name in good shit, my man. Good shit.
Who?
Which
one?
Nariyuki. There you go.
Oh yeah. I was saying before that Futuro from Quintessential Quintuplets, he's Nariyuki Light, Nariyuki Diet.
Nariyuki, the guy from
Quintessential Quintuplets, which is basically similar to We Never Learn, but We Never Learn's better because they don't spend half the manga getting the girls to like the main character.
Okay, the girl from Act Age. Okay, that's pretty good. She's in the right spot. Saitama's in the right spot. The guy from Torodoro's the right spot. Don't watch Trigun. The guy from Love Is Blind.
Wait, you've never watched Trigun?
You should watch Trigun.
No. Thurman's fired. He's fired until he watches fucking Trigun. No One Piece, no My Hero, Goku. No Dr. Stone until he watches fucking Trigun.
Goku and could have been better. Oh, I see Deku and could be better. Oh my god.
I said he belonged in the bin, but they
I saved him from the fucking garbage bin. I thought that was a little too harsh.
Tanjiro and Not Our Cup of Tea. Yes, and yes.
So are we good? God. Are we good?
Like, thank God. I'm gonna be real. I'm so tired of everyone saying Tanjiro is better than Deku and
Bro,
Asta
I don't understand
and
the hype
Senku.
on Demon Slayer. It's just so fucking overhyped.
Yeah, our hatred for Demon Slayer got the video a dislike already.
I'll tell you why. I'll tell you why right now I hate it, because like when the world is just like, this is the most amazing thing ever, and you watch 10 episodes and you feel nothing, you just get a little angry. You're like, and then you start thinking, am I the wrong? Like, is there something wrong with me? And then of course the other way
it's just been overhyped to all hell.
No, it's the world to be.
I think it's more to do with PewDiePie saying Demon Slayer is the greatest anime
No,
of
it was
all
Ninja.
time.
It was Ninja.
It was fucking Ninja, that blue-haired fucking
cut.
cut.
It was Ninja.
Oh.
Yeah.
Right.
I have my own hatred for Ninja. That is very deep. And then Thurman just dipped off.
Anyway, finish Ainz so Thurman can... God damn it, did he really? Well, I'll message him. But go ahead and finish Ainz while I message him.
Ainz, for me, I do agree with you, Red, in one fucking aspect. He is literally the weeb incarnate. Like, he spent an entire fucking episode reprogramming an AI, which to me is just like, no, to be a subservient little mistress for him and Albedo.
Yeah, I was just like, I didn't like him that much because I just thought he was kind of creepy. Like, he hit the Mineta level from My Hero Academia where he was like too creepy. Like, there's a level of like hear me out. There's a level of creepy that goes a little too far and it gets a little cringe. Now, again, I've only seen 2 episodes. I'll watch more and maybe he'll grow on me. But yeah.
He definitely grows as the series progresses, and then you have the people who are like, oh no, he's evil. No fucking shit. He's
a little incel-y.
He's fucking evil because he laid waste to. I'm like,
Is he a simp? Would you say he's a simp?
No,
no, he's not a simp. I would say
that's right. He just programs women to like him. I forgot.
Not a real woman. It's an AI.
What is the sex good though?
I don't know how sex would work with a literal skeleton.
I mean, I remember watching the first episode with him groping the booble and her just gasming extra hard, and I was like, that's not how that works.
No, it isn't. I would give him good.
Can you imagine if boobs were that sensitive? You brush by them and they just squirt everywhere.
So now, how do you pronounce his name?
Ben. Right in the bin.
No, David, don't meme. There's no reason.
No, honestly, I would give Gintoki excellent right off the bat. I'm not even going to argue with Thurman. He is a very well-written character.
And Thurman's here to push it to God. So go ahead, Thurman.
I'm going with God. Like, he's definitely like, look at who you have in God. Like, he's definitely on top tier with those characters. Like, he.
No, by the way,
he is not on par with Kenzo.
Noragami was only pushed there because of I think that was Nero that pushed that one.
Yeah. Well, here's the thing. People were David, you wanted what's the name of the main character for Noragami?
Yato
and Gintoki are on the same level. So yeah, Thurman, you win.
But I do want to hear Thurman's whole thing about it.
Because here's the thing, right? Gintoki is a great character because I explained this already in our tournament video, but
which is coming out next week.
Because Gintoki is a character who, just from the jump, we've seen him on both ends of the side. I've explained why I think I might do like a more edited video on this for Gintoki. That's how
when he says I might do, he means make me edit it.
Yeah. Like on
sit there and jack off
time to learn how to do it or anything. Like that thing he told me. When he first met me, he was like, "Yo, I'm gonna learn how to animate." Where'd that happen, huh?
I'm gonna do that since you.
Yeah. By the year 2025, when we're all living in fucking Fallout shelters, Thurman will finally have enough time to edit goddamn videos and animate.
I have 30 more days, so I might be able to do it. But anyway,
shut up and let him finish.
I've explained many reasons why I think
we all know this is gonna really well written. David.
So the main stick of it is Gintoki is
I probably have enough time to go bust a nut while
we've seen so many different phases and levels of Gintoki that makes him so interesting, right? We've seen the negatives and the positives of this character, and this is why I think Gintama is so well written, is because it's written from a gag perspective and an action battle manga perspective. And I think that's really well written because from the gag perspective, we see him as we would see any normal person, right? We see the slice of life portion of him, if that makes sense, right? We've seen his negatives, his positives, what he likes, what he doesn't like, boom. And then when we see, and it makes it more impactful when we see the shonen side of it, because now that we've been introduced to his character, it's just so really well written. He's not one dimensional. He doesn't even, and it makes sense because he doesn't even have an actual goal. He's just a guy trying to live his life, trying to work every day, and it still works, right? He's not like a Luffy or Asta or Deku. He doesn't want to become something. He's just a literal normal guy who wants to keep doing his job and live life and just grow old and die, maybe find love and die, right? And it's crazy because all the conflicts that happen is either with aliens or people from his past, and we see that he's a war veteran. He was joining the war. He's seen a lot of bloodshed. He's had to kill his own master, spoilers. And then when he finally found some hopeful of peace, he has to go back and protect his friend, right? And he's so good because he has this level of complexity about him. The way he's written is that he's not I'm not gonna say he's the best character ever, right? He's not the most perfect character ever, right? But he's definitely up there with like some of the high tiers, right? Some of the high tier characters, because that as a main character, he does what he's supposed to do, right? He's enjoyable. He gives us good life lessons. He's just a blast to fucking watch on screen and read on paper. And what makes it even better too is that every time we see him, it feels like we learn something from him. Like, it feels like we legitimately learn something from him, and we learn something from his past, and we feel for him, right? So I could ramble on about how great. Okay,
yes, you could. It would probably be another fucking 3 hours of this 3-hour video.
Yeah, and to be honest, I really want to just get through as much the rest of this as quickly as possible, because we've been going for so long.
So, Luke, some of us do like 12-hour streams occasionally. So.
Welcome to Control Chaos, Luke. This is what we do on a daily basis.
Yeah. I've been mentally preparing myself for this moment.
All right.
So, Koro Sensei.
Actually, before we do Koro Sensei, can I just say, where would you guys put Boruto?
Trash. In the trash.
Right. He's going there right away.
Soma. Trash.
Pardon?
Soma trash.
Really? Soma trash?
You might be memeing though. It's hard to tell.
I cannot stand Food Wars. There's just something about like
officially not memeing.
I'm officially not memeing. Like food making people orgasm. Who the
and I will say about Soma myself is that he never really changed over the series. Like he was still
one-dimensional.
Okay,
insert.
Guys, I'm so fucking hungry. So like, I'm like getting a headache. So like, you go ahead and do Soma. And what are those last 3 characters right there?
All right, the Saito.
No, you don't gotta rush. I'm just looking through characters that I don't recognize, so I can go get food while you guys do them.
All right, I'll move them over. All right, so we've got the main characters from Angel Beats. We've got the main characters from Clanad and the main characters from the Familiar of Zero. And
perfect. You guys work on those while I get some food.
Wait. I'm at the dip. So can we do Yusuke real quick?
Okay, you can do Yusuke.
Okay, yeah, I'll stay for Yusuke, and then I gotta fucking eat, and then you guys.
Okay, so Yusuke, I would put in either decent or good. I think as a bare minimum shonen protagonist, he does what he's supposed to. Give us hype, give us some sort of character development, and that's basically it. He is supposed to be complex.
Well, in that case, it would go in decent.
Yeah, because I think Togashi definitely knew what he wanted to do with Yu Yu Hakusho. I mean, besides the ending, of course.
But hold on now. I feel like I'd put him on good because I don't think he's worse than Luffy or Saitama or anything. Do you?
That's true.
David, this is your call.
I would say good because he did what he was supposed to do as a character.
All right.
As shonen characters went, especially at the time that was written, I thought he's pretty good.
Yeah, but if he was to be made now, he would be decent, or it could be better.
Could be better, 100%.
All right. So,
Angel Beats. All right, you went on and Familiar Zero. I have absolutely no say in.
All right, so this. So, Red, if you wanted to go and get some food.
Who's after Lelouch?
Guts.
David, I trust you. I trust you to hit the right spot.
Food.
Yeah. Okay, so I'll put Guts right in Guts.
No, just you guys do the 3. I'll be back.
All right.
Well, I've seen in OV, like AMVs, and that's about it. So
I'm heading back out. David, I trust you can put Guts in the right spot.
Yep, I know right where to put him.
All right, thanks, bro.
All right, so I'm just gonna say right now, David, is that these 3 I would definitely put in could be better because they're not because they're all not the worst main characters, but at the same time, there's just nothing to them, and I really wish I'd put Asta on here because that would have probably been a lot more better to include him. But I was kind of like thinking like, oh, I need to get characters that I know off the top of my head.
Yeah.
So so I would definitely just put them in could be better because they're not the worst, but at the same time, I've
experienced a little bit of Clannad watching a friend play the visual novel, but that's about it.
All right. I will say with the Familiar of Zero, it's like it's an isekai, but it's like one of the most like isekais that I've ever seen.
I mean, that's most modern isekais. Like anything in a post-SAO world is like, how can we make money? Oh, make a harem, and that's about it.
All right. So, Lelouch, I have not seen Code Geass. I know that's blasphemy to not have seen that yet. So,
yep. That's another one that I'll be using for another project.
Yeah, and Guts, I'm familiar with, but I've not
I just had a quick bite of something because I was like, I haven't eaten since 10 a.m. and it's like 5:16 our time. So yeah.
All right. So we're probably going to get through these last 3 quickly.
Okay, so yeah, because as I was walking back in, I heard that you hadn't even seen Kogia, so I was like, all right, I better get in there.
So Lelouch is God tier. That is it. He is one of the most well-written fucking protagonists.
Yeah, you know, I mean, Shirley's death alone was like really, it was so good for his character, and like and the fucking like I have to murder all the 11s was also so good.
And everyone is Zero. It was one
how that broke him, and so I mean, like I can give it to you. I don't have much to say, so I'll let you. You should at least do like a quick little gush about why you like it. But yeah, I mean, I watched it once. I enjoyed it. Not like my crazy amazing favorite anime, but like it was good.
I have 2 things to say. One, your exchange with Andrew, I weighed in on. Like you have to watch both timelines now because they're going off of the movie universe where Shirley's not dead, but he's L2 now and leading the Geass. I don't know how to feel about this secondary
here.
I guess I trust Goro in his infinite wisdom, but at the same time, I want to smack him because that took away that took away like the primary motivation for Lelouch in the end game.
To me, if there's 2 seasons for 10 years and then all of a sudden there's a 3rd season, maybe that wasn't the original plan.
I think what he wanted to do was like revitalize the fandom because there was that enigma of like, was he alive on the fucking cart?
Mm-hmm.
And that he played off of that in the entire fucking 3rd movie. Like he was in there, but you know, like he was transported and blah 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 blah. Spoilers in 3, 2, 1. He's alive but comatose for most of the 3rd movie. He's basically a husk, and then in one scene he gets all of his sanity back when they resurrect him, and then it's all fucking battles and flashy robot fights, and then he's now leading the entire fucking movement of the fucking Geass shit, and I'm like, what the fuck is going to happen in the rest of this? Because they've got this like multi-year plan, kind of like an MCU style. Like I hate using that, but that's all I can think of. Like they're putting him in gacha games, they're putting him in everything. And I'm like, stop with the gotcha shit for one, and also
it makes money. I can't stop it.
Yeah, it makes money. Tell me about it. SEO memory defrag got like $100 from me when I was trying to pull Joker for the Persona. I hate myself. But anyway, like that, they got this multi-year plan of like they're going to continue from that timeline.
But finishing up on why you love Lelouch, you're distracting yourself.
Why I love him as a character is that smart cuckoo raises glasses, but also the ability to mind fuck everyone 15 moves ahead.
And he can be one emotional boy. He's not just like emotionless.
Yeah, he is not, because usually when you get that cuckoo, I'm better than everyone, you get that emotionless, like, I don't give a fuck character. Yep. But he literally is this character where he's that smart ass, smarmy fuck boy, but at the same time, he has every bit of his entire plan set in stone to an Oda level from the very fucking beginning. And then when I
remember him, like, what's great about him is, like, he's planning this revolution, and it's so obvious with how he's written and how it's amazingly performed by Johnny Young Bosch in the dub. Like, it's obvious that he cares. Like, he cares a lot about what he's fighting for. Like, he really wants this to work, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah.
He wants everything to work, and then when he gets mind broken and has to rethink his entire plan, he starts planning it perfectly right to the fucking end game, which for 10 goddamn years was left ambiguous, and I loved it. And then, right. Yeah, it's just you gotta watch Code Geass at least once in your life.
Yeah, I gotta watch it again.
Yeah, and I've got to get to it at one point.
Watch both timelines.
I will. Don't you worry.
Start with the normal one, though.
Right. Yeah, start with the original God tier one, and then go to the one that fucked everything up, but also kind of might work.
All right.
Guts.
One thing before we continue is that Red, before Furman got in, you were saying about taking about Hunter x Hunter.
Yeah. So yeah, I literally remember a live stream that he was doing like in early days, and I was like, read Hunter x Hunter, because that was when I was discovering the glory of Hunter x Hunter. Praise be to thee. But he would do that shit where he's like, I read the first 10 chapters and I just didn't like it, and I was like, well, first of all, your problem is you're reading it. Watch the anime is amazing, just watch it. But like, he kept reading the first arc and he just couldn't get into it. And to be fair, the first arc of Hunter x Hunter, it's all right. It really starts kicking off after the first arc. But like, it's just so funny because then like now I come back and I see him like obsessed with it, and I'm like, yeah, that's what I thought.
All right,
about it, really. It's just.
Oh, sorry. I thought you were going to say something else then.
No, and then I heard you talk, so I stopped talking.
All right. No, I thought you were going to say something else then before.
No
but yeah. So now up to the final two. So Guts and Kousei.
Go ahead and do Guts. I read one chapter of Berserk. I need to read more. I'm not a fan of the art style. Like,
okay.
Before people fucking crucify me. The art is beautiful. Hold on, may I clarify? The art is great. Like the backgrounds and the detail. That's great. But I'll be honest, I'm weeb trash, and I like kind of like the cutesy style on characters more than like the gritty, realistic style. I know I'm trash, but whatever.
Yes, you are.
I need to force myself to read it, though. I've heard nothing but good things.
Yeah, I need. Oh, sorry. I was going to say my 2 cents, David. I need to force myself to read more of it as well. It's one of those things like with Hunter x Hunter, it's like I'm worried that I'll get caught up and then I'll be waiting years and years and years for new content.
You will be.
But no, I'm gonna sit myself down and watch Hunter x Hunter because there's no excuse now. I've got nothing better to do, so there's no excuse.
Yeah, no, I mean,
meanwhile, Red and I are both.
It's worth it, man. Like, you got to understand, Hunter x Hunter is so good, you won't even be bothered by it. Like, when you catch up, consider new Hunter x Hunter chapters like a treat. Like it's like that grandma that visits you once or twice a year and like gives you like her special, like, I don't know, cookies, and it's like, ooh, I forgot these existed until just now, and I remember how good they are. Like every year or so you'll get a batch of chapters, and it's like, yes.
All right.
I get to ingest this for.
And keep in mind, the thing with 100 x Hunter chapter is like 12 like chapters of everything else. He packs so much, it's ridiculous.
Yeah, I've seen how much he packs into it. I've skimmed through a few of them, so I know how much he packs in.
There have been single Hunter x Hunter chapters that have taken me like 45 minutes to read.
All right, yeah, but I promise you, as soon as I start it, I will let you will be the first to know. Soon as I start
and I do keep in mind it's similar to One Piece, like how the first arc is. It's good, but it's not even close to the best of what the series has to offer. So
I thought you were going to compare it to Dr. Stone then.
Oh, no. Dr. Stone is actually, I would argue, worse. Dr. Stone's first arc, I almost didn't even like at all.
To be honest, I didn't mind it. I didn't mind it as much as what you guys did.
Yeah. But no, Hunter x Hunter's first arc, it's like your average. Like, it starts off very average shonen. And then, like, the immediately once that arc ends and it goes to the next one, it's like, wow, real good. Like, so definitely watch through many arcs. But yeah, go ahead and place down Guts, and then I can have my gushing about Kuro Sensei, and then I can go.
And then we can end it. Then we can end it.
Then we can end it, Luke says. Finally.
Yeah, because we've been doing this for so long.
3 hours, 8
hours and 7 minutes. But Guts, I don't really have a lot to say. Like, he's a broken character. Clearly, he's just the most, like, oh my god, my life is a living nightmare. More so than Subaru. But, fuck, I only would put him in good.
No way.
Yes way.
Like, I just from all the hype I've heard.
Like,
well, here's the thing, Red, because we've not seen Berserk as much as David. He has the call here, so
of course, true. I'm not like actually arguing. That was more of a shock. Like, I was just shocked because like
the story carries it more
like
than
the story that people hype over. Yeah,
it is the story that is the beauty of the series, not Guts as a character. Yeah, there is beauty in how broken he is and how he handles himself in that, but he as a character just doesn't really interest me entirely as much as the world and the story and how fucking beautiful the art is. That's my 2 cents.
All right, so you're putting Guts in good?
Yep.
All right. To be honest, I probably would have had more to say if I read more, because I can ramble a lot as well.
Assassin's Classroom was a series that caught me completely off guard. I was just kind of, I don't know. I was going through like a kind of a mini depression at the time I found the series. I was just wanting something to watch, turn my brain off, watch. And I saw it on the Funimation streaming app, and I had heard about it many times. I remember during its peak, it was actually out. It was outpacing the rankings of One Piece. There was a couple weeks where like it would rank above One Piece, and I was like, damn. I remember like thinking about that, seeing that in high school, and like I was like, damn. So the name kind of stuck in my head. And then, just, I don't know, like 6 months ago-ish at this point, probably, I just found it on the Funimation streaming app, and I binged it within like 2 weeks. And it shocked me how impactful it was to me. And first of all, I would argue that Nagisa is probably the main character, but either way, Kuro is a better character than Nagisa. I like them both, but Kuro is probably better one to talk about because I like him as a character a little bit better. But the way I judge who a main character is like who's narrating and like whose perspective it's from. But with Kuro as a character, his whole thing is like, I guess I'll just go through his situation. Spoilers, by the way.
It's fine because I know how it ends. It's literally in the title.
Well, no, not even just spoilers for like the fact that he dies. It's spoilers for the fact that like who he is, what his motivations are, all that shit. Which is kind of like half the fun of the series is like learning about. Okay, why does he want to destroy Earth? Like, what? I don't get it. You know what I mean?
All right, fair enough.
Yeah, I guess I'll just say, like, he has this, like, passion to be a teacher. And I never thought that, like, I'd see this in an anime that's, like, a shonen anime with, like, a semi-battle focus. But, like, it's like a love letter to the profession of teaching. It really is. Like, it's... How to put this? I'm so much more used to analyzing Nagisa, not Kuro. But, like... I guess he basically owes this debt to someone who made his life a lot better, and she was a teacher at this class. And what's so great about this class here is that this is class 3E, and this school has like a lettering system for like, you know, how good you do, and E is like the bottom of the barrel. We're talking like this is the building that the problem children get shipped to, be it they're like violent tendencies, be it they have shitty awful grades, you know, they're like just the rejects of society that everyone's like, you kids have no future. You're going to be like the bums on the street, right? Like even the teachers of the school are like, nah, we can't fucking do anything with these kids. And Kuro comes in with this crazy, and he called it like, you know, I invented this new way of teaching, the assassination classroom, because he's got this crazy power, and he's like, you know, well, maybe I can use this as like a unique way to get them motivated. And like, what really just gets me about this series is Kuro came in and he just proved that these people that society and everyone saw as like bottom of the barrel children, they could never fucking achieve anything. He like helped them all become their best selves. Like these kids that like no one thought anything of became like these professional assassins. They're all crazy athletic now. And, you know, he motivates them very uniquely with his own unique style to like get better at all their subjects. And like he becomes like a father figure for a lot of them that don't have good father figures, because it's almost hard to put into words, but like just the way he is such a unique kind of teacher. Like imagine you're a kid and you're like, teachers don't understand me, and then like this fucking guy shows up doing his thing. It's a whole different situation because you're almost too distracted by like, what are you? Why do you want to destroy the world to even think about your own problems? And like through all of this wacky stuff that he does, he just fucking makes the best out of all these kids. And I guess there's not even more. I'm going in circles here because I want to say more, but I can't even think of anything. But it's not even that complex. It's just he so beautifully creates this system to make all of these children amazing. And like these, and it really inspired me because it showed it actually, like, this is one of the series that like inspired me to get a gym membership and start exercising. Because like one of the lessons in this series, it's a pretty well done lesson, and it's done in a lot of shows, but just it hit me the way it was done in this show. It's like, you know, even if you think you're a failure, and if you've thought you're a failure for years and years, all it takes is the right kind of push, and you could become like a genius in something, right? And just seeing them kind of like people, especially like some of the kids here, they had zero athletic ability, and by the end of the series, they're like hopping through trees, all Naruto style, you know, because they've been gone through like military training and shit. It was just really great to see all the characters grow, and Kuro was the surrogate for that. He was the reason that happened. So,
can I say something?
Sure.
Because from what I've seen, it's that there's 20. It's basically like a class similar to the class. Yeah.
I'm looking at. I'm actually, as I'm talking to you about this, I'm looking at my poster too.
All right. Do they do all the? I want to ask. Do all the characters, like all the class, get some sort of development more so than the class in MHA?
More so in the manga, because the anime does skip some of the like more like slice of life scenes, because obviously they were trying to get through like the plot. So like I would recommend, if you want everyone to get really well developed, read through the manga, because there was a good like 20 something chapters they skipped in the manga of just like them, you know, developing the more minor characters, but most of them get development. Yes.
Oh, okay. So where would you put Kuro?
Let me hold on. Excellent. He's better than Luffy for sure, but he's not on God tier.
All right.
And now, Nagisa, by the way, is one of my favorite MCs. And if it was him, I still couldn't argue for God, even though, like, so that's why I totally get your Emma example. Like, you know, even though it's not God, but like, Nagisa was one of those ones that just hit me. There wasn't even like a rationale. I couldn't think of a reason. It was just like, I love this kid. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And it's the same with Emma. Even though she's not the best main character ever, I just sympathize with her, and I love seeing her journey and how she's progressed, even if it's not in the way that we've wanted it to be, and there are a lot of problems. I've still enjoyed seeing her and seeing the struggles that she's gone, because she has gone through struggles as well, like from the point of like, I want to kill the demons, I want to just saw them for what they've done they've done to me. And then over the time skip, even though we didn't see it, we can see that she saw like, oh, they've built up this society, and what am I to say to take that away from them? Basically do the thing that they've done to me. That would make me a hypocrite.
Of course, we meme a lot, like we meme and joke around, but like everyone's entitled to their opinion, you know?
Yeah, absolutely.
And with that, everyone, the list is that we're done, guys. We're done.
Wow. I'm just looking through it. I think I'm pretty happy with it.
I'm very happy with it, and honestly, I've enjoyed this a lot. I've really.
Yeah, we'll definitely do a villain one at some point.
Yeah. I'll have to get the villain list done, but I'll definitely get that done because there are two.
Johan has to be on there.
Johan is God, going in God.
Erwin on there.
No question about
Carollo
that.
on there.
And then
if you want to do one per series.
Really a villain though? Is he really a villain? Or is he an anti-hero?
Okay, if it's one per series, put Meruem.
Yeah, I'm gonna go like with what I've done here. I'm gonna go with one per series, and I'm really debating on whether or not I should put Isabella or Lewis as the villain for Promised Neverland. All right.
Is Isabella really a villain after the recent chapters, though?
That's the problem, and that's something that my friend
Lewis, I have so little to say about. Well, we shouldn't spoil it because that's next week.
Yeah. All right, but
what I will say is because I want to like do a little just a hype up for a video. We on Controlled Chaos we have a bracket. It's similar to this, a main character bracket with a lot of characters that weren't on here though. And one of them was Nagisa. And if you want to hear me like gush for 10 minutes about because I can gush way longer about Nagisa. There's a lot more to say about Nagisa than Kuro. Kuro remains pretty mysterious the whole series. Nagisa, you can kind of get into his head, and that's why I love him so much because, like, God, I not only do I relate to this kid with the trouble he had with his mom, whereas with me it was the trouble I had with my dad, but like for me, he had like a kind of a fucked up mom, and how I also relate to him in the sense that like we're kind of like opposites. He had a shitty mom, I had a shitty dad. He is like really small and girlish in frame, but hates that, and it makes him uncomfortable. Whereas I hate how big I am, and it makes me uncomfortable. Like I feel this kid, and I love him.
And I gush a lot longer about fucking Lelouch and even Yugi and / Autumn.
Exactly. If you want those long gushes and in a bracket style system where there's a winner, there's a motherfucking winner there. That'll be on our channel within the next week. So
and I can't even predict who's gonna win. I honestly can't. I don't
even remember him, David.
So I don't even remember. So
I'm gonna wait, and I'm gonna look forward to that, guys.
I'll be looking forward to your comment on it. Yeah. Well, thank you, everybody. That was fun.
Thank you, and
we'll be streaming on Twitch this weekend, Saturday sometime.
All right, and be sure to subscribe to everyone. Subscribe to the Discord, subscribe to us, and we'll see you all later. So
goodbye,
peace.
All right.